next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.
We're back on a Monday. It's Crunch Time here on Woodward Sports. Jeff Iafrate, Booner, KG, Caleb Zarnick. Things are happening with Terrion Arnold, and we were watching it up until we went live. So we're going to be providing you guys with live updates with what's going on with TA. We also have some Detroit Pistons free agency stuff to get into. But, man, this TA stuff, watching the proceedings that are going on right now, and you got Terrion Arnold, who just picked up a high-profile defense attorney, Harvey Steinberg.
He's winning.
Yeah.
That name?
I just heard that. Yeah. He's that guy.
Dude, this Steinberg guy, watching
defense
him.
Attorney.
Klotz had texted us after the, what is it called? The guy going against TA, what did you call it? Who's the guy going against TA?
He's the prosecutor.
The prosecutor.
Yeah.
Klotz texted us and said, there's no way TA gets off. Boom. Steinberg steps up, starts asking. First question he asked, it was like, TA might get off. Like, it was instantly like he broke the whole case, like, in the first question. And then he just kept cooking. It's like, that's the reason why you hire a guy like that who has the track record of what he does.
It's a lot of money for a guy like that.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you get off and you have an NFL career, it's like, hey, that's the money. It's worth it, right? Like,
yeah, and Harvey Steinberg has represented multiple NFL players, especially from that kind of area out in Denver. But he's taken on this TA case, and all his job is to provide doubt. That is it. Just trickle in doubt, because the whole point is you're guilty beyond reasonable doubt. And if there's even something where Harvey can come in today and just throw some thoughts out there, just some reason to doubt, then there might be a chance that you can maybe get him. I don't know if he get a bond or like.
No, he would get a bond.
Yeah,
get him out.
Get out. I think that's the goal for them
massive
today, is just to get him out so that he's able to probably play football,
of course,
until there's a trial or something,
which will be probably a little bit down the line.
Yeah,
trials normally take about a year.
The Lions, honestly, like if he gets out today, I don't think the Lions would cut him. Like, that was the conversation we had Friday. It was like, hey, if he doesn't get out and he has to stay in jail until a trial, the trials could take, like KG said, up to a year out, a couple months out, like whatever it is, and it could take time. At least if he's able to get out, Lions are able to say, okay, well, let's let this thing play out. You're able to at least play football until,
Well, it seems like Harvey Steinberg, the defense attorney, is his case that he's kind of building on is that, and again, I'm not saying this isn't true, but based on what he was saying, obviously these guys are all going to be very convincing when they start bringing up different point of views. And it seems like we were watching it before. I'm not an attorney, so my diagnosis of this is probably not going to be close to someone in the chat who is an attorney or has some experience with that. But it seems like the theory or the argument that the defense attorney's making, Harvey Steinberg, is that TA all the stuff that occurred to these alleged people, or the alleged stuff that occurred to these people that they thought robbed them, that TA did make those decisions to have that stuff happen. That it was in the people that are currently also going to go to trial. Probably
they acted
it was
alone.
Their idea, and TA wasn't his idea.
He was just there in the car while they set it up. That's essentially what I'm taking from it, is that's their side of things, where it was like, hey, well, did you actually hear Terrion's voice on the FaceTime? And the guy's like, they didn't say he did. So he's like, well, how do you know he was the one doing it then? That's kind of the sense of it, which it makes sense. I mean, if you're trying to get someone off, you get into kind of the technicalities of it all and a little deep into it and be like, well, did you actually hear him say, hey, go do this? If you didn't, it's hard to get the guy on it.
Yeah, and also, I mean, again, not an attorney. Don't listen to my law advice or my legal advice. But what I will say is, from my history of following some of this stuff, like and knowing how prosecutors typically work, not that I've been dealing with prosecutors, but a theory on that, if you're a prosecutor and you have a chance to, try and take down Terrion Arnold, who's a prominent NFL player, obviously skill-wise you can argue, but bigger name, former first-round pick, it would do a ton for your career. Okay, I'm not saying that TA is innocent, but what I am saying is I can see a scenario in which the prosecutor goes to these other people involved and said, listen, if you give me TA, we'll shorten your sentence. Like, they just want TA. Not really knowing, and if you're a person in their position where you're facing a long time in prison, you're probably going to be like, okay, like, well, you know, yeah, sure. Like, TA was involved. This is this, and that. Because they can try and prosecute Booner, but Booner's not going to draw as much of a job upgrade as TA if you're trying to prosecute people. So, again, I'm just throwing theories. We're just spitballing here. I can see a scenario where, you know, TA's defense attorney's like, whoa. He is not as involved as people are saying.
Right.
But maybe from the prosecutor side, he just wants the big fish.
By the way,
that's what they want. They want the big fish.
Trippy Gyps, she said, you don't need to hear the voice and or see them, though. That's not how it works. You just have to prove that he owns one of the devices involved in that handshake. Funny you say that, because one of the questions that was just asked to the guy who investigated it and did it all wasn't one of Terrion Arnold's devices stolen in this whole thing. Mm-hmm. So my guess is he's trying to put it back to say, hey, how do we know Terrion was the one that was actually with his device? Because he had multiple devices and one of them got stolen, and we're trying to link it back to which one was the one that did that. And so there's a whole... I don't know. There's a whole thing about it.
That's his job is to throw out those type of theories, so the judge, or, you know, could potentially just at least think like, well, you know, maybe there is something there. Again, not saying TA's innocent. There also is one hell of an argument on the prosecutor side from everything they were arguing. We were watching it this morning. It's like, it doesn't look good, but you know, you can't be swayed by these type of moments, but it is worth mentioning. I mean, we can sit up here and say, yeah, he's guilty, but this is the point of court. You know, you got to hear both sides. And his attorney, Harvey Steinberg, man.
And the thing is, you're not going to find out whether TA is guilty or not today.
No.
But the big thing here is, if he's able to get out, what the Lions could possibly do with that, you possibly get another year of his career. You know, you don't have to worry about going out and getting another cornerback. That's important. Like, that is very important, because if he gets convicted and they like, nah, we're holding that bond, you got to stay here, what are the Lions supposed to do at that point? They got to make a move. They would have to make a move pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And even if, like, for example, like Teddy, these guys have been investigating this for a while. They have factual information. That could be true. Like, they probably have stockpiled a ton of evidence on TA. That's why they're going to try and prosecute him. I think someone said that when the feds try and prosecute someone in the chat like a week ago dropped this. Don't know if this is true, but in Florida, it's a high conviction rate.
Yeah.
Guys, we're not saying he's going to get off scot-free, but the Harvey's job is to be like kind of sweeten the blow a little bit. Like, if he does get convicted, he's going to make sure it's not life in prison up to, you know, like he's going to try and help him out to where it's like, hey, we're going to battle for you, but if you do get convicted, we're going to make sure it's not the up to sentence. We're going to make sure it's, you know, you get, maybe we eliminate some of these charges. I think it's like 8 felony counts. Mm-hmm. Like, can we get that down to like 2? You know, 3. That's his job. Is like, hey, if you're going to get convicted, I'm going to try and lessen the blow a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah, Doc just tweeted out,
which still counts as a conviction rate, by the way. So it still helps the prosecutor, but it also, defense attorney does his job.
If there is some sort of ruling here in the next hour or so, we're going to try and get John the Macaroon on here with Sports Illustrated. He's listening right now, going through it. He did tweet out, and he just said, with the Terrion's attorney, if Terrion is not on FaceTime, there is no crime. That's essentially the argument that he's making. And I think it's if that's what they can prove, which as of right now, when we're watching it, it's like, hey, that's... And obviously, like KG said, like, they're still going to probably have to go to court, whether he gets out today or not. You're not going to get a verdict.
Absolutely, yep.
And there's going to be a trial, but it's about setting it up to get him out so he's able to go play football until there is a trial. And then they're able to, Steinberg and all of them. A lot of people, like, if you're saying in the chat, well, you know, the prosecutors have built this case up for a reason, right? Well, guess what? Steinberger just got in this case, last week? Mm-hmm. So he obviously hasn't had a lot of time to build his case. His number one goal is to get TA out on bail right now, and then for the next couple months before there is a trial, I'm sure Harvey Steinberg is going to be building a hell of a case for TA to get off and make sure that nothing happens, so he's able to continue to play football, and he's able to stay in the NFL, and he's able to continue his career. So that's kind of the I think the timeline of it. He's not going to just fully get off today, though, but he's got the attorney to do it, man. Harvey Steinberg's the best in the game, like literally the number one in the game right now. I think Jonathan Cooper, the Broncos guy that has that, he's also his attorney right now. So it's not. Listen, I wouldn't be shocked today if TA got out. I wouldn't be shocked.
Because people have to remember, like, we're not saying TA's innocent. What we're saying, the job of the prosecutor is to prove beyond reasonable doubt that he is guilty.
Yeah.
So if that's their job. So the ball is in their court. They got to prove what they're trying to charge TA with, which I'm sure they have a bunch of things they're going to bring to the table.
Yeah.
Harvey's job is to just pick it apart, provide some doubt. That's going to be his job. So I'm interested to see kind of where this goes. Like Chucky Lewis in the chat. Remember, we had to remember, we have to be convicted beyond a reasonable doubt, and if their phone brings reasonable doubt, then that's an alibi.
Yeah.
To what you're saying, like if they can just throw in there, like, hey, the phone got, maybe throw out the theory of the phone being stolen or something, that is reasonable doubt.
They're also going to have to prove that he's not a flight risk or somebody that's a
true as
danger
well.
to society as well.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of it.
I don't know how long this is going to take today, so we'll figure it out. I guess
It's going to take a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to take some time, but maybe a couple hours, and we'll know something in the next few hours whether TA is going to get out or not.
Yeah, and I actually do want to discuss when we get back from break too, like, or actually we just have this now. Do you think the Lions would actually bring him back?
It depends.
That's what I'm curious, because we mentioned it, like, if he gets out and he trials in a year, he could play it. Do you think the Lions will let him play?
That's a question.
That's
I
the
don't
question.
know.
Yeah, because you got to deal with legal shit throughout the season.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't just stop once you get out.
Right.
Like,
Well,
you got to deal with that throughout the year.
It's one of those things where Dan and Brad have been like, hey, we're basically a no BS team, right? We're
Is
an
the distraction
organization.
worth it?
So I think this is one of those moments to where, like you saw with Cam Sutton, Cam wasn't the worst. Like, he was a good corner two for you, right? Like, he was going to be a good corner two for you with Carlton Davis.
Debatable.
And debatable, but like that's
the
what
plan.
it was. So
Yeah,
that's
that was
the
the
plan.
plan. That was the plan for
It's
them,
It's
yeah.
a fact. They thought he was their corner two, and they were like, we're cutting ties instantly.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they waited. So they are kind of a no BS organization, where there are some organizations who are like, hey, we'll ride with you.
Yeah.
I don't know, because this is it's a one-off. Like, this is like, I mean, there's a chance he's probably going to go to a trial. So it's like, how many players in the NFL have gone to trial or had something like this and they end up playing? I don't know.
Well, it's like this comment, Messi. He said, "Bruh, they let Kobe play during his trial."
I got there. We
Yeah.
go. There's that. Then I guess it depends.
but
Really?
That's Kobe Bryant.
Really?
Yeah, that's too.
That is Kobe being Bryant we're talking about. We're talking about Terrion
And he
Arnold.
played for L.A. Imagine
If-
the lawyers he had.
I don't give a damn what charges Kobe had.
Yeah.
You're playing games if you can for us.
Yeah.
Like TA,
I don't know if they
little
will.
different.
You think they cut him no matter what?
I don't think that.
Not no matter what.
I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze with him. I don't.
The only-
Especially
You are playing a risky game because it
Yeah.
depends on when the trial is going to happen as to how much playing time will he actually get throughout the year.
The only
Yeah.
thing you could say, like, I think they're going to cut ties with him. If he's awaiting a trial, like, I don't think they want to play around with that BS. But, like, they did mortgage a first-round pick on him. Like, that is high draft capital. I know you just brought up Cam Sutton. It's kind of a similar situation because they were pretty reliant on Cam Sutton. They needed him the following season, and it's the same for Terrion. But I just don't think they keep him around. Like, that. He's going to be awaiting a trial. There's going to be a ton of like law stuff they need to go through. But yeah, I don't think they keep him around.
Yeah, and Messi says the law is the law, bruh. I'm not talking about his ability to play. I'm talking about the
Right.
Lions letting him play.
Yeah.
The law is the law. You're right.
And-
There is a chance he could play. My point is, bruh, you
Right.
think the Lions are going to let him play if he can? I just don't see it because it sets a bad precedent. It does.
And it hasn't been
Because
in their DNA to this point.
with the Lions, guys, I'm talking about I know Messi mentioned the Bengals. Yeah, of course. Maybe some other team would let him
There's
play.
going to be other teams. That's
But-
what, the organization, the way it's ran with Brad
Yes.
and Dan, like, they have let it be known, like, we no BS. Like, we
Yeah.
don't allow this stuff. And I feel like we've never seen it with, like, a player, like a first-round draft pick with them. So it's like, you get to that point to where it's like, well, is there going to be a different expectation for a different player because he's a first-round pick compared to a fifth-round guy that you're going to let go or whatever it is. So if to me, in my mind, I would have to think the Lions are like, hey, it's top down. Like, no matter what, if you have something going on, and especially to this magnitude, whether it ends up going to trial and you're innocent or not, whatever it is, I would think that the Lions are like, hey, there's a no, we're not doing
No
that.
bullshit.
And the
policy.
Lions do stand to gain from this. And we've kind of talked about it on the morning show a little bit. They can say he violated the conduct policy. And once again, it won't help you right in that moment.
Yeah.
But you can recoup some money from that. You can get a comp pick from that if I'm not mistaken.
That's what they did with Sutton, I believe.
Exactly. So there are like alternatives to where they can benefit from this if they eventually have to cut him. So I think they would maybe lean towards that because, like you said, nothing in their history indicates that they would do something like this.
The only reason why I say it sets a bad precedent is not. Listen, I don't care. TA, like, hope it works out for him. If he's guilty, hope he goes to jail. If he's not, I hope he gets off. I don't really. I'm talking about the Lions' perspective here. Like, if you're the Lions, and this has been a theme with Brad and Dan, like you talked about, where we won't draft X player because of baggage, or we won't sign this player because of baggage. And there might be people like me that are like, hey, at the time, Jalen Carter. Would have loved him, you know.
For me,
now,
James Pierce. For me,
James Pierce, obviously that. Yeah.
he fought off 8 cops, yo. I mean, you think he ain't gonna get to the quarterback?
Yeah,
like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. But no, I've had the same thing. My point was always they'll fit in with the culture, yada yada yada. But they've always consistently done the opposite. So now with TA, who hasn't even proven to be a number 1 corner, we're gonna let him slide if he can play. No.
Well, what's the corner market looking like right now?
True, but that's again like, are you gonna
I think
stand
that's
on
the
it or not?
consistency. Yeah, like are you gonna do what you've always done, or are you gonna kind of fold and be like, oh, you know what, it's our first. We don't have corners. Like I do think there's a world, if I'm being honest, that I think they're comfortable with Rocky Sin, and I think there's this world where in the media the last few weeks when there was OTAs and minicamp that they did all say, hey, TA is in a position battle. Like, it's not his job. Like, he has to go out there and earn it. And I think, like, when Jeff asked Brad in that interview about TA, and Brad's like, hey, we're essentially, like, now I'm not going to, not quote for quote, word for word, but he essentially gave the sense of, hey, we're prepared for worst-case scenario. And I think in that sense it was, hey, we're re-signing Rocky Sin, and we're comfortable Rocky Sin being our corner too. Yeah. Like I think that's what, and I think they truly believe that. And then obviously the other free agent signings that they've brought in that potentially could move outside, I think that they're fine with it. I really do. I'm not fine obviously with the situation, but with being able to be like, hey, we're moving on. Like we're gonna make that move.
Right.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just don't think. Again, I'll say it again. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. If he was, if this was Pat Surtain,
I do love some fresh orange juice, man.
If this was Pat Surtain, I mean, maybe the Lions don't still do it, but like at least I'd be like, I mean, he is the best corner in football. Like you gotta, like if this was, it's just how it is, guys. Like Ray Lewis, look back in the history of the NFL. A lot of guys have done some quite. Michael Vick came back and played football.
No,
like,
he did.
There are exceptions. Just how life is. If you're a certain caliber of player, you will get another opportunity. I just think the Lions, A, won't do it, and B, even if they did, I would say, like, man, again, to what I'll say, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze.
Hey, Tep Sauce gave $2. He said, can we get TA on work release and pay him in SIGs?
Wow.
They funny as
Tep Sauce is on one, dude.
Shout out to us.
There was another one here. Hold on.
Silas
gave $5. Said, what grinds my gears is I defended not making a big trade in 2023 to go win a Super Bowl, only for hindsight to show we should have traded all of 2024. Yeah, honestly, Silas, the Booner Path started with everyone was mad they didn't make a trade at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're still going to go to the NFC Championship game, which they did. Never said they were going to win the Super Bowl, but it was more so, hey, they could get to the NFC Championship game. Whatever happens, happens. Obviously, they, were literally probably 1 or 2 pieces away from being able to actually win a Super Bowl, which hindsight sucks to be able to see that.
Yeah, it's tough too, man, to play the hindsight game because if that 2020, what was he? Is he talking about 2024 draft class? Yeah. If that 2024 draft class was like 2023, none of us would be saying that, Like if they hit on 4 straight picks pretty much.
Yeah.
If they did that again, no one would care.
Yeah, in that moment you think you're hitting
at the moment
his track record, Brad's track record at the draft. Guy hit on everything.
Yeah,
so you would
tough.
think, like, hey, in 2024, he's about to go. Even when TA got drafted, we were all like, oh, TA is going to be really good.
Yeah.
Same with Ennis. We were like, wait a second. Like, maybe he's cooking something
Yeah, we didn't love the Ennis pick, but we're like, we understand he's a projected first-round pick. Like, okay, I understand maybe the thought process. We didn't like it because he was never healthy. But other than that, it was like, yeah, I can kind of see it. Like, obviously, was that Giovanni Manu as well in that draft?
Yeah.
Okay, that one, I might have been glazing him, but we all knew, like, what?
You like calves, so.
Yeah, calves are important. If you're that size and you got them bigger calves, it's important. But also, who else? Broderick Martin, I think, was in there. Was he in there?
No,
that was the year before.
Draft.
Yeah.
Was that? Oh, yeah,
that was
you
a
are
third
right.
rounder,
You are
though.
right. So it's that
Colby
theme, though.
Sorsdale?
It's that theme, though, where people are like, ugh. But overall, I hate playing that game. I do.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Not defending it. It's a bad draft class, but at the time, like people were, dude, TA. It was in Detroit, and people were like, "Let's go,
I'm
TA,
home.
let's go." And TA did the whole like WWE
Promote.
like he
He
it was
did,
crazy.
bro. Just throw Aloe Black behind him as he's fucking doing that. I'm home. You can tell everybody.
yeah, in front of the home, in front of the state, dude.
You're right. Like, come on, man.
So we can't.
They got us, man. They did.
Yeah, we can't. What were you gonna say, Caleb? Were you gonna say something?
I said that was Vaki's draft class too, but this was I do have an article from the doc. This was last week, kind of on some avenues the Lions can take here. He says, The Lions now have multiple roads they could take on this situation. They could keep him on the roster and allow the legal system to play out. They could cut him from the roster. He could be placed on the commissioner's exempt list. If the team cut him, they would be on the hook for his dead cap costs as he enters the third season of his 4-year, $14.3 million contract. And so the commissioner's exempt list, Doc says, is a status where players are on paid leave while facing serious criminal charges or an investigation, but only Commissioner Roger Goodell could put a player on this list.
Wow.
Paid leave?
Paid
Yeah.
leave.
Oh, wow.
So they can keep him on the roster?
They can, yeah.
Yeah, and if they cut him, they would be on the hook for his dead cap costs. So I guess if they keep him on the roster, he could be put on this exempt list, but only Roger Goodell can put him on
You better
this
make
list.
that call to Roger. Then.
You're right.
You better make that call.
Start sucking
What's
up.
what's the dead cap for TA? Let's see. I'm
They
interested.
could, like Doc was saying, they could spread it out.
I mean, the dead cap. Yeah.
Like 14, what is it?
It's his cap hit this year is 3.9. Dead cap this year, 2026 dead cap over 9 million.
I
So
think
you're up 5 million, and then next year it's 4.5. You're essentially, if you cut him, and obviously there's probably some sort of exemption if he's in trouble, so it probably lowers. Would be my guess is you get some sort of relief. I would guess you do. There's no way you take a whole $9 million dead cap
I think
hit.
Doc said they could also spread it out if they need to, where it's like
Yeah.
$2-3 million a year.
They
for
can
like,
finagle it, yeah.
They can.
There has
finagle
to be
that.
some sort of exemption for something like this. There's no way you get hit with all of that because it's like if you cut them right now, there's $16 million in dead cap for the next 2 years. Obviously, even if you spread it out, you're putting it out like that should be able to go down if there is something that comes up like the guy's in trial, and he's in court going up against something.
Shift. Shout out Shift, man. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for tuning in. He says, let's call a spade a spade. We now got to lean onto this hopeful olive branch that Ennis can be cornerback one.
Come on, man.
Hey, do we have the bat?
Way.
We got to get the Batman thing.
Oh,
There's just no way.
I'll put it back. I'll put it back in the system.
Well, yeah, throw it out there because with that to me has been the funniest. Like, not even no offense to Ennis, just like the whole bit we're rolling with here is like that. He's our hope. I mean, he's the guy. And you know what? Can we start giving Ennis a little bit of credit here? Like, no, I'm serious. He's not that good. He's not, as of right now, he's not that good. He gets hurt all the time. He's staying out of trouble.
Oh my
All right?
God, Jeff.
At least you don't have to worry about him. He's going to be at training camp.
Look at the face turn by Jeff.
I
man.
mean,
Look at that.
Talk about WWE.
Caleb put that up, by the way. He's an Ennis guy.
Can we?
That's a dope picture, though. I ain't gonna lie.
He's the people's corner. That's what he is
The
right now.
people's corner.
He really is.
He just wants what's best for the team, and everybody.
You know what,
shits
Caleb?
on him.
I'll give you credit.
No, Caleb, don't let him in, man. Gatekeep.
No,
Gatekeep.
Caleb, I'll give you credit. You've been defending Ennis. He hasn't gotten in trouble.
By default,
hasn't. He's just been hurt.
though, he's starting
Build a
to get
wall,
cut.
Caleb. Build a wall.
Look, whatever it takes. It took a player to get fucking arrested for him to get some snaps. That's fine. Look, again, Ennis guy. Are we in a good situation that Ennis Rakestraw is going to be relied upon heavily? Probably not. But I'm going to be rooting for him, and I think he's gonna play some good snaps for this team because he's going to have to.
Hopefully, he plays a snap for this team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully.
we
Just
haven't
stay
gotten
healthy, Ennis.
regular
Just
season
stay
one.
healthy. Just stay healthy.
I'm rooting for it. I really am.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for
Right.
Ennis Rakestraw to be good and get healthy, and that skill set that we talk about. Like, honestly, we just need one healthy. We need one really healthy season because he's a good corner, but we haven't seen it because he's not healthy.
Man.
If we could just get by 1 year with a
Reminds me
Ennis.
of somebody else, Emmanuel Mosley.
Oh man, back
Do
to
not
back
do
years.
that, KG. Don't do that.
I'm sorry.
That experience was just awful.
If Ennis, by the way, let's just make this very clear. If Ennis is healthy and is playing, he is not your corner one. There's no
No
way.
chance in hell.
Get ready.
DJ Reed, you better get
DJ
your ass out
Reed.
there.
And the issue I have with
You gotta-
DJ Reed, and you guys know my theory. I've said this a lot. I hate corners under 6 foot.
He too short.
I hate it. I think you should never, if you're going to draft corners or sign corners,
You a heightist.
it's got to be 6 plus.
Hey, I had a 6'2".
Yeah, the height. I think the best
Seatbelt.
corner. Go look at the best
Seatbelt.
corners in the NFL. Is there one under 6
Gang.
foot? Is there one under 6 foot?
I can't think of one.
There's some Hall
they
of Fame.
go-
It's been there's some that pop up in history, but
Yeah.
no, it's very rare. No,
Every single
you're-
good corner
it's
in the league right
very
now is
rare.
at least 6 foot or taller.
Usually those guys are like nickels that are elite nickels, but outside corners that are under 6
Someone
foot
can
that are
find me
elite.
a couple.
I mean, I'm even thinking some of the great corners in our history. Like the great ones are.
Let's
are
look it
big
up.
corners,
Name
like
one.
Sherman,
Absolutely,
Richard
yep.
Sherman, and
Revis was like 5'11", right?
Revis might have been.
He was 5'11", I think. 5'10",
I don't know. That
maybe?
You might have to look that up.
5'11".
5'11",
But
yeah.
he's like a one-off.
Yeah.
Kind of the exception, yeah.
You're not going to find a corner under 6 foot.
Typically, you're finding
like
guys
name
that are-
anyone this year, like Patrick Surtain. Let's see how tall he is.
He's 6'1".
I mean, you know what's crazy? I just looked up corners under 6 feet. 2 of them are
Surtain,
current Lions,
6'2".
and DJ Reed and Avonte Maddox, and then Amik Robertson is another one that comes
Damn,
up.
Kenny Morris, 5'9".
Yeah,
Can we
Kenny
get-
Moore's one? Yeah,
Can
he's
we
5'9".
get
Kenny
a
Moore, I think
6 foot
Kenny Moore,
corner?
is he a nickel?
Kenny Moore?
I think he's a nickel.
I think he plays a little bit on the outside.
No, he does play the
He
outside.
does play a small
yeah.
side too. Okay, well, okay. Well,
Darrell Revis is literally the only one under 6 foot that you're like, that guy was
Well, we
great.
had a cornerback over 6 foot, and he got arrested.
Who?
Terrion Arnold.
T.A.
Well, we had one in the building that was like 6'3", and he was really good, and he went to the Super Bowl last year, and Carlton Davis. And we
Yeah,
just
I know, right?
Hey, why don't we move on from Carlton Davis, 6'3" Carlton Davis, and let's go get 5'5"
Damn it. Ennis
DJ
Rakestraw's 5'11".
DJ Reed.
is he?
Yeah, he's 5'11".
That's not good either.
Sheesh.
Dang it.
Is he
Rakestraw,
more?
just
Is,
get that
is he
one.
more Darrell Revis or? Is
Actually, you know
By the
what?
way, someone said Tyrann Mathieu, safety.
Safe, yeah. He's
That's safety, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
safety you could be. You can
That's
get away with
safety.
being, yeah.
Safety
Brian
can be
Branch
short.
also.
Safety's
Safe.
about speed.
Nickel.
Safety,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's again. Are you throwing Brian Branch outside?
No.
Honestly, at this point, no. I'm just kidding. After that Achilles, hey Brian.
I didn't know I thought Avonte Maddox was tall. I didn't know it was 5'9".
I thought he was
Yeah,
a
he's
little
not
taller,
big,
too.
man. He played nickel, safety, played
Yeah,
outside, but
he
you
did
see why
play
he ain't
outside.
playing outside. He's
Right.
too small.
If I'm an NFL GM, I'm never getting a corner drafting or a free agency. I'm never getting someone under 6 foot. Never. If you're playing outside, 6'1" requirement.
Yeah.
Number
Yeah.
one thing. That's it. There's no question. And some reason, Brad doesn't like that.
Sideless 5339. Appreciate the 5. He says, which will break first, Rakestraw, your spirit or your body?
Jesus
And his first
Christ.
injury bug in
Come on.
2025.
Y'all are savage.
Ennis had an interview a couple like at the end of minicamp with someone. I can't remember. I think it might have been
Brad
Brad. The vibe I got was Marcus Davenport vibe last year. When Marcus Davenport was like, "What do you remember?" They were like asking about like injury prone. He's like, "What do you mean injury prone?" Like he was like defeated, and you could tell that was the vibe I got. And I think Ennis is working. I'm
Yeah,
rooting for the guy. But the vibe I got in that interview, he was just like, I just want this injury bug to go away, man. Like you could
Yeah.
tell he was defeated.
I can't imagine, dude, like being held back by that. You know, like that's out of his control. Like he can't control getting injured. I mean, it is what we can make jokes about it, but in all seriousness, he can't control that. You know, what I mean, it's not like he plays. If he played 17 games and he stunk, it'd be a different discussion. But he
Right.
just gets hurt, and when he does play, it's very small sample sizes. Obviously, he doesn't look good, but he hasn't had enough of a run to even say like, oh, he's improving.
Right,
He just
right.
isn't on the field. You know, it's a problem.
Pinochet says Booner's like 4'10". Actually, fun fact. Hey, fun
That's
fact.
crazy.
One okay, fun fact. I'm taller than DJ Reed.
Yeah,
How about
no,
that?
you are.
I'm taller than DJ Reed, and he's playing outside corner versus Justin Jefferson. I mean, I'm taller than them.
So one of the
That
cha-
puts it in a little bit of perspective. I'm taller than Amik Robertson.
We got to take a break. We're blowing back. It's all right. We're having a great show. When we come back, we still have more TA to talk about. Updates we're providing you guys. It actually is coming out live. It's coming out
Yeah.
very
TA
live
updates,
stuff.
man.
Hot off
Because
the presses.
They go till 1, so new stuff's coming out, so you're not going to want to go anywhere. We still have Detroit Pistons for HC to get to. I got to tell you about Pure Psych, and then we got to hear about our friends over at Amnesia. But first, Pure Psych. This is a TA plug right here, Pure Psych. You need someone to talk to. You're going through a rough time. Maybe it's Ennis. You're dealing with injuries, and you just are frustrated. You're not alone. And if you need someone to talk to, I have the perfect people. It's the people over at Pure Psychiatry. They provide personalized psychiatric care designed specifically for you. Not for Ennis, not for TA, for you. They have 16 locations in Michigan, 2 in Ohio. So if you're thinking about taking that first step, which I highly suggest you do, visit PurePsychMI.com.
And that therapist might prescribe a little bit of marijuana to help calm some of your nerves. And Amnesia is a good place to start. Amnesia is proud to be available at all of the top dispensaries across the state with multiple products for adults 21 and up. Their newest launch is the Switch, a 2-gram dual chamber disposable featuring liquid diamonds with 2 chambers and 2 different flavor profiles. You can enjoy the left, you can enjoy the right, or both at the same damn time. Discover your new favorite with the Switch by Amnesia.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Some days call for light, others lean bold. What about everything in between? All-Day IPA, the easy choice for every day. Citrusy, crisp, refreshing. Flavor you can float with. Light on the hops, big on refreshment. One's great. Two, even better. Brewed with you in mind. No shortcuts, no fuss. Big on flavor, never too much. All-Day IPA. Hop into easy.
Experience summer in Detroit with pro soccer at Keyworth Stadium. Every Detroit City FC match brings a new reason to show up early and stay late. Tickets available now at deadcityfc.com.
Dan Campbell is in redemption mode.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
And Woodward Sports is here to cheer on the Detroit Lions every snap. Don't miss a moment of Detroit Lions coverage. Follow Woodward Sports on all social media platforms now.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
All right, Buddy's Pizza. They've been celebrating the best Detroit-style pizza for the past 80 years. I believe they celebrated their birthday a couple weeks ago, too. 80 years, and they cater weddings, graduation parties, anything. Go with Buddy's award-winning pizza, signature salads, homestyle pastas, and more. And you could save 20% on your next catering order of $200 or more when you order with promo code Woodward20. Visit buddyspizza.com/catering to view their complete menu and place your order today.
We're back. Crunch Time, Woodward Sports. For those who decided to stay with us, well, you made the right decision because we have more stuff coming out about Terrion Arnold. Those who decided to leave, you're lost. All right, because TA news is coming out. It's actually going on during our show, so things are happening, and it seems like, not to be, reactionary, the defense is cooking.
Yeah, it feels
It
like
seems like
TA's.
TA's. I mean, Harvey Steinberg.
Come on, bro.
KG did say, though, there's a chance, like, realistically, like, all the information, there's a chance that TA is innocent, right? Like,
Yeah.
We all are sitting up here being like, why would he do it? Like, yeah, you don't, like, and I think this is the bottom line with it all, with always. It's like, why put yourself in those positions, right?
Exactly.
And I know there's times where you get put in positions where you might not know that was going to happen, but you're still in those positions and you have to either remove yourself or whatever it is. TA obviously, most likely, allegedly, in my mind, he probably knew the position he was in, being in that car, and knew what was going on. But that doesn't mean he's not innocent, and that he actually didn't have anything to do with the orchestration of this. Doc just tweeted out, our guy, Sports Illustrated Lions on SI, two tweets here. You guys ready for this? The attorney had asked how many texts were generated by my client, which is Terrion Arnold. Response, none. So nothing from TA on that end. And then he responded. He put another tweet out here. Said attorney pointed out a judge in Bokiah Hilton Jr. case, which I'm guessing is another case within this. One of the other guys says that Hilton was the quarterback directing things of this whole thing. Nothing about Terrion. And what is Terrion in this for? The conspiracy to be the kind of orchestrator of all of this. TA wasn't the one that was in the building, doing the kidnapping allegedly. None of that.
Right.
He was the one that they say allegedly was orchestrating and being the quarterback of this. And then a judge in a different case of this said that it wasn't even TA quarterbacking it. So it feels like right now the defense and TA's lawyer is absolutely cooking what's going on and shooting this down. And obviously within the next few hours we'll know if TA is able to go home.
I have a question. This is a big one, and I want to ask the chat. Chat, this is where I'm going to rely on you here, okay? So, because you guys ultimately dictate the content. We have an hour and a half left of the show. We had plans to talk about, Detroit Pistons free agency, go into different topics, obviously talk about the TA stuff. Would you guys want to do that, or would you guys like to do a Terrion Arnold watch party and just just watch the case?
Can we put it up there, by the way?
Because, and I'm genuinely curious, chat, because we have the week we're going to cover free agency. Like,
are we able to screen share? And,
if you guys
listen?
are watching,
I'm sure we could.
Would you rather just do a watch along? We could all talk about the case live and break it down, or would you rather talk and do a normal show? You guys vote.
There's a stream. We could put it if people want. We could put the stream. I think we can. I don't think we would.
Yeah, we've done something similar.
I know there's other places that are doing.
Put a poll up
for
the chat here. Because I'm curious. It's you guys. You guys make that decision. Because
we could do a watch along and watch the whole thing together and as it goes.
Because if you guys want to watch the case, I'm giving you guys the control here.
People are saying Terrion watch party.
Yes.
We could talk about other things while we watch it too.
Of course.
Yeah, because obviously
we
watching
can have
the
it
case.
up. Listen, Court TV. We could Court TV this thing.
We could.
We're not gonna get flagged, will we? We've done it before. I feel
think
like
so. We've done it for like sports press conferences. Never a court case. I don't believe.
I don't think
it is Fox 2. It is their kind of property.
Oh, yeah, well.
So that could be tricky.
Yeah.
I think they're live streaming it from someone. I don't think Fox 2 is down there with the camera live streaming it. I'm guessing there's a court.
They probably sent someone from Fox.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
they
what
definitely
do.
sent somebody.
They have a bunch of people in there. But yeah, you guys vote, man.
I say we watch it.
Yeah.
I don't think we would get I don't know. I'm not a YouTube expert, but I would think that we could do it. I see other people are doing it right now.
Yeah. Worst case,
with it on the screen.
I can pull it up and show.
I was about to say I think it's cool, but
Then yeah, we probably could.
yeah.
Do we have a way to stream that?
It's a way to do it in vMix.
Do you know how to do that, Caleb?
Might need some assistance from KG. But
Yeah,
we'll
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll do that. If people are,
what we could do too is we could put a layer on top saying streaming via Fox 2 News, so it's crediting them.
Yeah, so the poll, it's right now 57-43 TA watch along. So there's 50 votes, guys. Drop the votes in there. I like it. I like a TA because again, like we have the whole week to do free agency. This TA stuff is massive. People are interested in it based on the numbers.
Oh, I think I could be wrong. It looks like it might have just ended. I don't know what happened. It looks like the courtroom's clearing out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
They might be out for recess.
7 to 8 minute break ahead in Terrion pre-trial hearing. So what we'll do is I think they're probably going, the judge is going to go figure out the decision. When they come back, we got 7 or 8 minutes. We could play it for the people and we can watch the thing together.
Yeah, we could do that.
If they're going to make an announcement, I could text the doc here. We could maybe get the doc on real quick.
Yeah, we'll have a whole TA show. We'll have the doc on, and hopefully we'll reach out to him if he's not busy. He can join, chop it up with us about the case, get his thoughts. We'll have the case so you guys can watch it. Yeah, that would be good. Let's take an early break. We're gonna figure this out, and then we're gonna come back. We'll fire it off. So don't go anywhere. We're going to have this figured out for you guys so we can kind of check in on the case and we can all watch it together and react to it live. But first, I got to tell you about Yaldo Eye Center. So allow me to do that. Tired of fumbling those glasses or contacts and the daily hassle of those things? It's time to take control of your vision. With 30 years of experience, 100,000 procedures, they have the trusted experts. Their LASIK surgery is completely painless. It takes just 8 minutes, and the recovery is so fast that patients are seeing 20/20 the very next day. Take advantage of their summer promotion, just $16.99 per eye. Wake up with clear vision. Book your consultation today with Yaldo Eye Center at yaldoeyecenter.com/$16.99.
Neil Rule and Sean Belizian wake you up every Monday through Friday on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. That's right, Big D Energy has moved to mornings. Get your morning dose of Neil's tone and Sean's insanity. Weekdays 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Two Detroit sports legends coming together for the best Detroit sports morning show there is. Big D Energy, waking you up weekdays on Detroit's #1 sports network.
Energy pouches give me the energy and clarity to find and beat the shit out of every opportunity that shows its face.
Live and direct, I'm back on set action. Create the wave, we cannonball splash 'em. Mic cord swinging, get your head chopped. Point blank, dead stop. 16 bars in a headlock.
Thrive Energy pouches are for the people who actually want to win, not for the crybabies out there who are happy with a participation award. There's zero sugar, so give Thrive a try. Go.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Founders, but Water Hazard specifically. It's the very first canned vodka cocktail 5%, best served with a slice of lime. Get $5 cans at Art and Jake's locations in Michigan on Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Please drink responsibly. We are back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports. We're figuring it out, guys. We got something cooking behind the scenes. We're going to make sure we can do a live watch along with this TA stuff because they are currently on recess, it seems. So it's not really going to – it's not like we're rushed to get this up right now. But we're going to end up doing it because the people voted. The people feel pretty strongly about it. Teddy says send Lucas to be your live correspondent for the case.
I would love it if we could just send Lucas down to Florida, the whole trial, everything.
Free TA shirt you'd wear.
That would be funny.
1,000%.
He was down there in Florida, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah.
He was. Sebastian, TA's lawyer destroying prosecution. It's early, but he's got
early lead by the defense.
Again, Woodward Sports, we just tweeted out Terrion Arnold's lawyer, Harvey Steinberg, is moving like prime LeBron.
Right.
So they're out there getting buckets right now. I'll tell you what.
They just went on a 17-0 run with Harvey Steinberg, man. He's wheeling and dealing, man. He really is.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. I mean, I hate to TA get off again. It goes back to the whole situation of if TA is able to leave today, do the Lions still keep him on the roster?
That's the debate.
Through a trial.
It'd be risky.
That's the debate. And Prolific says it's just a bond hearing. We know that, but it's still interesting.
Yeah.
People, trust me, it's not anything. It's not the juice of the meat and potatoes.
He keeps saying the juice. People keep saying, Jeff, why do you keep saying the juice?
Well, he is Juicy Jeff. So.
I said earlier.
Juicy J, yeah.
The juice ain't worth the squeeze. If I was the Lions, I'm not keeping him.
That's funny, man.
But we know it's a bond hearing, but still, people, trust me, that based on the engagement across social media, people want
it's big to know if he's getting out today or not.
And even, somebody like Roger Goodell, he's probably looking at this thing too, like, okay, like if he does get granted the bond, then why can't he make the commissioner's exempt list? And that's something that the Lions could possibly explore if they really wanted to keep him.
By the way, just a little breaking news. Can we just throw out the Malik Beasley stuff real quick?
Another one.
Malik Beasley drops today. Breaking news on that as well before we kind of get to this TA stuff and watch this. Breaking news, I'll read it here directly. Former Pistons guard Malik Beasley has been indicted on federal indicted. Sorry, indicted.
Hey, pause, bro. What?
T-Foss is back there. Look over here, like what did he just say?
Is like,
indicted on federal charges for gambling related to sports betting scheme, which involved point shaving and prop bets. His attorney told ESPN today, and the government is coordinating a voluntary surrender of Malik Beasley this week. So. That's going to be another thing that's going on. And I think that's why Trajan Lane didn't have the response that he did in his press conference about Malik Beasley. Hey, we haven't spoke with him or anyone. He doesn't even have an agent. So Malik Beasley, that's a
it's tough. I mean, that put the nail in the coffin, guys.
Real quick, we got eyes on the courtroom.
We got eyes on the courtroom.
We got eyes on the courtroom.
Can we just show what it would look like? Just give like a preview for the people? Like what's the shot here?
All right. Caleb's working on it.
If you tuned in, you've been loyal. We appreciate you because we've been kind of working through the show.
Oh, crispy. Look at that production on the fly. Look at that.
Look at that. Come on, Caleb.
Look at that.
Let's see squared.
I did send Caleb, if you want, I sent a file that you could put via Fox 2 News in the top left if you wanted to. I did create a thing.
Shout out.
By the way,
man.
shout out to the guys, man. Shout out Caleb, KG, got on the phone with Spenny, helping the boys out. All three of you guys, we appreciate you, man. It's the cog in the engine, but we got it.
Yes,
we got it up. We'll do the live watch party. You guys voted on it, so it'll be nice. Because to be honest with you, like going back to it, like he's a former first-round pick. It's obviously a bunch of felony charges that he's facing up to life in prison, which obviously I do not foresee him getting life in prison, but still up to. People want to hear about it, so yeah. We'll definitely be talking about it. Prolific says it's going to be hard to practice with an ankle monitor if they allow him out. Being wealthy makes TA a flight risk. Yes, no doubt. That's what they're going to argue. I mean, he's got money, he's got connections, that he could be a flight risk. But we'll see. Yeah. Someone else said in here, I wanted to read this. Where is it? Ken says, "Hey everybody, there is only one way to look at this Terrion Arnold situation." Oh, I just lost it. Basically saying, at least he's not injured. He will not play for the Lions or nobody else.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Is it technically today a bond hearing?
Yeah.
Yes. Mike G says, it's only 8 felonies. 47 had 34 felonies. 34 is crazy. Germ says, TA and I had the same lawyer. Harvey saved me from getting 52 years in 2009. Been broke ever since. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Germ, that is crazy. I'm going to fully believe you on that, by the way.
That can't be real, right? Is that real?
I mean, I'm just trusting Germ on that. Harvey Steinberg saved that man 52 years. That's crazy. Wow. So he really is Harvey. And from what the research indicated, I wasn't too familiar with him. He seems to be a really, really well-known lawyer.
Yeah.
Defense attorney. But he does it, man. He's representing a lot of athletes. Let's see. Hey, Diz says, what happened to you back in 2009?
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, yeah, what is going on? Steve
All
says,
right.
almost like
By the way, I
sphere.
think they're back. Caleb, I also added a lower third there with an update that says via Fox 2 if the lower third's easier to use. Just a heads up. But I think they are back in the courtroom here.
JD says it's 1,400 per hour. I saw for Harvey Steinberg. Yeah, it's worth it for what he's doing, man. Really. Pinochet. He says, appreciate the 2. He says 8 felonies, not generation. That's that's fair. That is fair. Appreciate the $2. No, he's not. Now, if he had how many touchdown passes did Bryce have? 9? Is it? So yeah, not even as much as Bryce. It's tough. Germ says I was a degenerate and that changed my life. Don't worry, we're getting the stream going.
We are, yeah. They are back in the courtroom. There's someone else is on the stand right now. I'm not sure who it is.
Caleb's just they're ironing out some things right now. Caleb's going to throw it on in a second, and we'll be starting. We appreciate all you guys tuning in to
Are
hang
we
out
good to
with
throw
us.
it up, boys?
We good?
We good? They are back.
Yes,
in the
we
courtroom.
are good.
All right, let's throw it up. Let's see what let's see it.
Correct. And so we're aware there are a number of family members who are seated over my
Let's
left
check
shoulder.
this out.
Yes, that is the entire
Oh,
Ross
here we go.
family.
And they're here obviously to support him.
That is correct.
Now, tell me about his personality, his character. I want you to tell me what you've come to know Mr. Arnold.
Terrion is a very innovative young man. He's inspirational. He likes to benefit the community. He has special relationships with his family, as you can see here. He has a great-grandmother, and he has a 6-week-old daughter. And he so cares about family. He is wanting to be the best version of himself, and I've personally observed this. Terrion is also a very spiritual person, and he is so concerned about his relationship with God and wanting to make sure that he is a good example to society and to those coming up behind him, and that's my personal observation.
Now, one of the factors the court considers is danger. I want you to talk about whether or not he, in your opinion, poses a danger to the community or to anyone.
I absolutely do not think he poses any danger. Terrion is one of the most caring people I have ever met. Every time he comes home, he's going to see people in the community putting on events to help support young people.
Do we know who
I have
this is,
known
by the
him
way?
This is,
personally for
this
the
is a
last
close
6 years,
family.
and
The
I've
doc
never
texted me and
seen
says it's a
anything
close
about
family
him
friend.
that indicates that he's a danger to any person.
Miss
So,
White.
I like to use
Shout out
this.
Miss White.
There are certain people who have a criminal mindset, which means they're just criminals. Would you put Mr. Arnold in that mindset?
Absolutely not. The Arnold family is one of the most caring people, and if I may, Your Honor, my mother recently was in hospice and she passed away, and this particular family helped me care for her, helped me to support her. They have raised him right, his mother, his grandmother, his uncle, all of these things. So no, Terrion is not a danger. Terrion is a very respectful young man, and I think he is an inspiration, and I would not be here on this stand testifying on his behalf if I thought otherwise.
And then finally, I'm going to ask you the obvious because we have all the cameras and everything else. Do you know what
Wish we could
Mr.
hear a
Arnold
person
does for a
ask
living?
question more.
Yeah.
Well, he's an NFL football player.
And does he currently play for the Detroit Lions as a cornerback?
He does.
Is he committed in terms of his discipline and doing what he's supposed to do?
Absolutely. Terrion has been working since he's been 6 years old to get the achievement that he has today, and he's very concerned about making sure that he's a good example for those coming up behind him.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Judge. Oh, wait. Oh, that's one of the things. I forget these things. If this judge should deem it appropriate that he get a bond, would you ensure and make every effort that he would comply with the terms of the bond?
Absolutely.
Would you have any concerns that he wouldn't?
No.
In terms of his ability to follow in direction and instruction and authority, have you ever seen any problems with that regarding Mr.
I have
Arnold?
not.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Any questions from the state?
No question. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mike, please step down. Watch your step. Mr. Steinberg, I think you indicated that was your only witness,
Yes.
and that was to as bond factors. So
Yes.
we'll go back now then. So essentially, I guess the defense rests.
Yes, sir. Defense rests.
So we'll turn back to Mr. Riley for the issue of the state's motion in this case, where the state is asking that I grant the pretrial detention and that he be held without a bond.
That is correct, Your Honor. We ask that you grant the state's pretrial detention motion or grant that he has no bond.
Is this where we get it?
In which we are trying to seek that.
Are they about to announce it?
That there is a substantial probability that this defendant committed the offense, and based on the defendant's past and present patterns of behavior and the criteria set in 903-046 of Florida statutes, and any other relevant facts, that no conditions of release or bail will reasonably protect the community from risk or physical harm, or in the alternative, the defendant be held without bond pursuant to Article 1, Section 14 of the Constitution of the State of Florida, because the defendant is charged with a capital offense or an offense punishable by life, and the proof of guilt is evident or the presumption is great. In regards to substantial probability the defendant committed the offense, Your Honor, we are not going to sit here and try to tell you that Mr. Arnold was the, as the defense said, the quarterback of this beating going on at the house. We are here to establish that the only reason that this plan or this act gets off the ground is because of Mr. Arnold. So if Mr. Boakai is the quarterback, then he would be the general manager at this point for relevance. He is the reason why it gets set in motion. And the reason why we put it that way, and we're not trying to say to you that he actually held a gun, he told someone to pistol whip someone, under Florida statute 777.011, and the jury instruction is 3.5A, and I provided that to the defense as well, Your Honor. If you'd like a copy, I have a copy for you as well.
Is that the principal?
Yes. Would you like a copy, Your Honor?
Sure.
This is the heart of the state's theory in this case, and that how Mr. Arnold's involvement and why he should be held criminally liable. It states in Florida statute 777.011, if the defendant helped another person or persons commit or attempt to commit a crime, the defendant is principal and must be treated as if he had done all things that the other person or persons did. If the state proved beyond reasonable doubt that 1, the defendant intended the crime to occur, and 2, the defendant did some act or said something that was intended to, that did, incite, cause, encourage, assist, or advise the other person or persons to actually commit or attempt to commit the crime. The jury instruction is clear that this, to be principal, the defendant doesn't even have to be present when the crime is committed or attempted. In addition, so long as he did something to help, encourage, incite, assist, or advise, he does not need to know that a firearm would have been used for him to be found guilty or found to commit a crime of false imprisonment and robbery with a firearm. So we start from the beginning. We hear from Ms. Devalle, who is a witness. Yes, she's
So he's just
already
cooking and
pled out in
recapping this whole
case,
thing right now?
And she
Yeah, essentially.
has
Just going
given
through it, the whole
a
thing?
post-mortem
Yeah,
statement
probably
and a
closing
proffer.
statements.
She states that on one of the nights, Mr. Arnold comes into the living room with everyone there, Fredo, Boakai, everyone involved, and he is the only one that says, I think I know who stole our stuff, and that is Yanni and Danny.
I mean, this guy said,
They've
I
heard that
think and I
testimony.
know.
I mean,
He
I'm
doesn't even know what he's talking
This
about.
guy's got just an absurd amount of hair gel in.
No, that's a fact.
He has no clue, though. He's mixing everything up.
Hairdresser.
He's sweating that shit out.
It's getting in his eyes. I can tell you from experience in middle school, that's not a good feeling.
Say, me and Fredo, which is Mr. Freddie
gritty.
Hughes, we're going to try and do this at a hotel. So the plan was already
Fredo.
starting to get Yanni out in the open. Or
By the way, I
in a
forgot my
secluded
computer,
area
guys, this morning,
to
so I'm using my
confront
phone to
him
look
and
at the
dispute
chat. Sorry,
why.
I'm
He's playing Flappy Bird.
And then the
Right.
issue was, this goes to the
That's still
criminal
around,
intent
yeah.
of it, is it is mentioned by Mr. Arnold, well, and Boca guy,
Somebody named
there's
Fredo.
cameras
Steve
at
said this is
hotel.
just for bond. This isn't trial or final judgment.
Yeah.
Correct.
They're
This is
trying
just
do
to see if he can
something
get
which they
bonded
do
out
not
here
want
today.
there to be evidence.
But if they hold him, that's
that is
who.
why when
Yeah,
they
if they
learn
hold him,
from
I mean,
this
that's
guy,
probably-
It's a wrap.
You're probably
that
thinking
Danny,
that
who's the person they want to lure over to the apartment,
Lions make a decision.
that he's been there before.
If he's
it
in
might not be
jail
odd for
until-
him
I think they
to
have to
go
make a
trial
decision either
by
way. I
his
think he's
apartment.
cooked.
I don't
See
know, bro.
Jasmine,
Yeah, brother in
and
Florida,
there
I
are
don't
no
know about this
cameras
one.
there.
Even if he gets,
As
if
soon
he's
as that is
out,
offered up, you heard
Pinochet said, "I forgot I had a job."
Stated, yes, that's available to you.
Oh, I gotta work.
Right.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
We're
Mike
gonna
G
lure him
said,
to your apartment.
this guy's boring as hell. No charisma from him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
not at
Harvey
all.
Steinberg is so
Yeah.
much better. Dude, if you're a
It is
lawyer and you're in a
important
thing
to know
like this,
that-
like
Yeah.
you gotta have a little bit of juice.
Yeah.
If you want to win,
He a
get
state
some
prosecutor, though. I mean,
I have a little bit of swag, man. Come on.
Like Rob
Hey, why don't we get a
Kardashian.
fade or
So
something?
for
These
saying-
other,
I-
these other defense attorneys that got swag. You know, like you gotta have some swag. He's a prosecutor. You don't, no swag.
Xavier D said he'll only get a bond if they feel like he's not a flight risk, which is almost impossible. I feel like you can prove he's not a flight risk.
I mean,
He's
you
a public
can, but
figure,
he has
though.
a lot of money, bro.
He does, but
can
as a public
easily just
figure,
hop on
like-
a jet. He can pull a Cam Sutton in the court ties. He can pull a Cam Sutton and just not.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
public
I
figure
guess
doesn't
so.
matter because he can just hop on a PJ and get the hell out of
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
It
Like,
doesn't really who public.
you'll never see him.
It's not like he's sneaking on Delta.
You're right.
He's like bro's gonna have a PJ and he's out. You know, that's what they're worried about.
That's fair point.
And you can prove that in court.
He's on that American the Frontier or whatever.
That's what I'm
He's
saying.
on Frontier hopping on there.
It make it hard, bro.
Lure him to come over.
He an NFL
That
player,
is
bro. It
all
makes it hard.
corroborated from her interview with her text messages that conversation is actually happening. So, cue Jasmine. So now that Ariana has her marching orders from Mr. Allen, since he has figured out the best way to do this is lure them to the apartment, we need Miss Rendazzo, Jasmine. So once Miss Jasmine is speaking or on the text message, excuse me, she's kind of trying to figure out what's going on. And it's pretty evident because in her text message she says, oh, you're trying to set them up. And you can tell there's a reservation because she even offers out there saying, why don't you just tell him he's going to come over and cut hair? Going towards the criminal intent of she knows and they all know that the plan to go over there or to get him over there is one of criminal nature.
Talking to the mic,
that Mr. Arnold
lawyer.
wanted to happen. Now,
Earlier they were in the mic. Now they just
in
don't have
regards
the
to
mic.
motive, in that sense, to the why,
It's just
all
that
his things
court
were
audio.
stolen. All his items were stolen, and he wanted to get the get back. They all were upset by that, especially that phone that went to Miami. which
Xavier
was
D says
important because
district
we learned in
attorneys
the
and
group
public
chat, while the
defenders are the
beating was
lowest
occurring,
forms
that
of
Boca
attorneys. They cannot get real
specifically
jobs.
asked in all
Yeah.
caps.
Is that true?
Asked about
I mean,
Terrion's phone.
A district
Why
attorney?
is it in Miami? Well, that is while Mr. Arnold is sitting next to him in a vehicle. So back to when Jasmine is now told, this is what you're going to do, lure him over.
Cocaine
She
says,
states
damn TA
in
finna
her
meet the
interview
booty
that
warrior.
there is a
Oh,
first
wait.
time call for
The choice is y'all.
That's not
planning.
I'm not
Mr.
That's
Arnold
not-
is
I'm not
involved,
laughing.
absolutely.
That's
Cocaine.
Here's his voice when he's trying to tell her what to say to Danny to
Grow
lure
up,
him to
guy.
the apartment. There's something about
Yeah, be
you know
better.
how girls do. Just do something a girl likes to bring him over.
You
say
do this
something
the
a
easy
girl
way
likes.
or the
He
hard
is
way?
providing
The choice is y'all.
for the statute. He is.
Thank God. Get this guy off the screen.
I don't think he's done. I think he's still going.
Yeah, he is.
Assisted or advised that person to actually commit or attempt to commit that crime, knowing that that's the whole point of why they're asking to lure Danny over is for that crime to be committed.
I think
Now,
this judge is going to give him a
If you
bond.
ask, or the
Or
argument
bail.
was made,
What crime at that?
I'm not ready to go there just yet.
so
Steve Lehman says the
based-
DA is
based
friends with Ben
off of
Johnson.
What Mr. Arnold is doing is the
He was in his
ruse
wedding.
meeting that's
Right.
on to criminal
He was in his
regards to the hotel. They want to get them alone. They want to get them secluded. They do not want there to be cameras because that's the whole point of the hotel. We don't want cameras.
How many
to be
Bucks
available.
But I
fans
think
are
there was some testimony
in that
or
in that courtroom right now?
text about confront them about whether they were involved or whether they had the property.
Correct. Well, yes,
Is
that
that
was
a crime?
That's a football guy if I've ever seen one.
Guy's shaped like a football, dude.
Oh, yeah, he's watching games for sure.
That's a good thing. He's got Roger Goodell. He's in Roger Goodell's pocket.
Like KG said, he could be a Bucs fan.
But he could hit up Roger Goodell and say, hey, you want CA to get off? You want an NFL player to get off?
No,
get regular season tickets for the rest of my life.
Insight, cause, or
I don't know if TA drawing the help of Roger, though.
Steve Lehman said Judge is showing some pushback. When I watched it earlier today, the judge was pushing back against this attorney. He was going back and asking him questions like, you can't say this, you can't do this, you can't do that. And that attorney was flustered. They were like, rework their question.
You only
He
get
sat
one
there.
chance.
He walked like this. He was like walking.
They need to put Boner in the courtroom.
He was like,
You only have one chance to get it right, bro. You know, like these guys can't fuck up.
and the judge, hey,
Hey, Boner selling this like Neil sold that coffee earlier.
By the way, we will have that conversation about. Neil's the one that holds everyone accountable, and he can't be accountable himself.
We still don't have coffee, by the way, Chad.
Yeah.
So I want, by the way, the same energy
Disrespectful.
that people gave me for not getting him $10 quick enough, even though I paid him in the morning I got here.
Yeah.
Keep that energy with Neil. He owes us a cup of coffee. Guy took the weekend, Friday, and today, Monday. He had a holiday weekend, and he still hasn't given us the coffee.
Hold on a sec, boys.
Then questioning and commit all the acts that there's testimony that they committed.
I would say yes, because there's the argument, the jury instruction that defense could argue, is independent act. That there's a break in the change. That he simply just wanted them to go over there and to speak, and they acted independently of that. We're arguing that what he did is a foreseeable thing that could happen when you're luring someone over to the house for that purpose. As in, that is why his location matters, where he is at the time, who he's communicating with, what people see, and most importantly, all three people that you've heard from, which is Ariana.
Oh,
They cut the string.
damn, they cut it.
You
It's like we get back to it, fellas. I think we need to
No.
take a break anyway.
Let's go to break. We come back. We'll get back to it. We'll start talking about it.
Is it really cut off?
I don't know. It just
It's cut off. It's not even on. Yeah, it's completely
They cut the
off on
string.
my end,
Court
yeah.
cut the string.
The court. Maybe
We're
there's
making
like
fun of his haircut
technical
too much.
difficulties. Yeah. Let's go to break.
We were frying that guy. And
What do we have? We'll
But
double
don't worry.
up.
We got post-game court coming up.
Let's do KG. Tell us about Loom, then we'll hear about Planet Fitness.
We'll talk about it when we come back.
Yeah. We'll do, how about Loom and Thrive? We'll
Loom
do
and
that.
Thrive?
Yes.
All right, sounds good, man, because listen, I know y'all need some weed for this court here, and everybody locked in right now. So today through July 5th, stocking up on your favorite summer essentials has just got that much easier over at Loom with their Independence Day giveaway. Just buy 2 or more Splash, Fresh Coat, or Ritual products in a single transaction. Opt into the Loom loyalty program, and you are automatically in. You can win a 3-night getaway for 6 at the gorgeous Dune Birdhouse in Leelanau. Got that word right. Leelanau Wine Country, complete with over $1,000 for dining and gas. Who doing that, man? They're also giving away $250 gift cards at all 40 of their stores. So listen, you want to go to Loom.com, see all the rules and whatnot to get in this contest today. It's Loom Cannabis.
Let me tell you guys about Thrive. Most people, they think energy comes in a 16-ounce can full of beer or sugar neon colored liquid. Almost said beard. But you know better. It's time to upgrade. Yeah, I was thinking about this guy, this lawyer's beard this whole time. We need to get him some Thrive and get some TA and his lawyer some Thrive. It's a nicotine-free mental powerhouse packing 300 milligrams of clean and smart caffeine, including alpha GPC and L-theanine. No jitters, no sugar crash, none of that stuff. Thrive, you can find it at dipstop.com. You see on the screen there, you get 15% off using the promo code WSN, and find them at all Market Fresh and Market Square locations. It's Thrive. They just effing work.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Finally, life-enhancing LASIK surgery at a price you can afford. Michigan's most experienced eye surgeon, Dr. Yaldo, is offering the most advanced LASIK at just $1,699 per eye, regardless of your prescription. Imagine not just being free from contacts and glasses, but actually seeing better without them. This limited 2026 spring offer is thousands less than others charge. Go to YaldoEyeCenter.com for your free evaluation and save.
most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Buying a home or refinancing is a massive decision, and just like in sports, you need the right team behind you. That's why we're proud to welcome Supreme Lending to the Woodward Sports family. As a full-service lender, they boast a 99% close-on-time rate, 97% customer satisfaction score. But here's the game changer. When you apply for an eligible loan, you mention Woodward Sports, and you will receive up to $500 off your appraisal. To score the deal, call the numbers on your screen. Talk to Chad and Chris at Supreme Lending today.
And let me tell you guys about Art and Jake's Woodward Sports. We're heading over to Art and Jake's on Sterling Heights is that tomorrow? No, next Tuesday. No, that's tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
June 30th.
Tomorrow,
for the Tigers versus the New York Yankees. We're going to Sterling Heights, Art and Jake's, to watch them take on the New York Yankees. It'll be a fun watch party. You won't want to miss out. You won't miss a single pitch with over 80 wall-to-wall TVs, 22 draft beers on tap to keep you refreshed, and a menu packed with absolute fan favorites. Make sure you come tune in and grab a Founders tomorrow and watch the Tigers take down the Yankees in Sterling Heights. June 30th. Tomorrow. Yankees, Tigers. It's a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Yippee. I get to watch the
We're
Tigers.
back. It's
Tigers,
crunch
baby.
time here on Woodward Sports, 11 to 1 weekdays. If
Hey,
you're
boom,
new,
they lost another series.
Hey, I'm not.
we'll get to it too.
Nope, not doing it anymore. I'm out on the Tigers right now.
Oh, now he's
I
out.
might be back tomorrow, but
If you're watching, hit the like button on the stream. It supports us, pushes us out in the algorithm. We got a lot of people in here might be new to the show, and if you are, we're live weekdays, 11 to 1. We appreciate you for that. The TA stuff, we are doing a live watch party. We're going to see if it maybe comes back on. Right now, it's
Right.
off. Right?
yeah, it seems like the whole thing shut down.
This the court post game right now.
Yeah, the court they unplugged it. So
Yeah.
we were reacting to it live, but I think what we can, and I did, by the way, I did see the tweet Woodward Sports put out on our Twitter, and it says that TA's, like you said, TA's lawyer is moving like prime LeBron right now.
Yeah.
He's doing some work, and he's doing a really good job. Tim in the chat says TA hired the best of the best. If he has a snowball's chance, it's with this guy. He's the Tom Brady of attorneys.
Yeah, and I think too, like, I'm just gonna call it what it is. His lawyer stepped up, put pressure on the DA,
Yeah.
and then the judge all of a sudden is pushing back at the DA now, which you would have to guess. Like, listen, I'm not a pro, I'm not a lawyer in the court of law or anything, but my guess is if a judge starts pushing back at a DA consistently,
It's a win for the defense.
it probably means that the DA's whole case is kind of falling apart, and there are some holes in it, kind of like some Swiss cheese. There's a few holes in that thing, and right now the DA is probably panicking a little bit. So it seems like that's a good thing for the TA side and his lawyer.
Telling you, just again, it is early, but the prosecutor's job, the DA's job, prove he is guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there is a new link. I will send you the new link.
And so far, it's a tough start. Okay, the judge is poking holes. He's pushing back. And Steve in the chat says prosecution was getting cooked by the judge. That is true.
Yeah.
So
where do you want me to send the link, Caleb?
You can just send it on Vmail.
So we have a new
Slack.
link.
Yep, it's a different news channel.
So we'll put
I
the
will get a
credits in
new.
there.
Yep, I will get two new things for the news.
So we will be putting another stream on. I know today we pivoted.
We are back.
We're going to do a show, and then we're like, you know what? This TA stuff's happening live. It's all over social media, so we're going to turn the show into a watch-along and watch the case happening live. Not the case itself, but the pretrial court hearing, basically for bond.
Yeah.
To decide whether or not TA is going to be out on bond or, stay in jail there. So, this is
like a soap opera.
No, it actually is.
Yeah.
No, it actually is. Xavier says a great defense attorney can usually eat a county prosecutor. See OJ.
Yeah.
Real Motion says we got YouTube lawyers in the chat, of course. Well,
that comes. with the
That's
territory.
gonna come. Yeah.
That's I've said multiple times. Do not take any legal advice from me. You are screwed.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
Yeah,
Or
everything we
Brandon Katz
say-
if he pops up.
Everything we say is probably allegedly, and we're just kind of conversations about it.
Yeah.
Detroit Arrow, if TA beats the case, people in this chat will still think he's guilty and wish he wasn't on the team.
Yeah.
Well,
There's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah, you're speaking for people, though, Detroit Arrow. You should take into consideration the Lions. If he even beats the case, I don't think the Lions are going to want anything to do with it, based on their history. So I'm just throwing this out there.
But
if he beats the case, KG.
No, but if that was the case, couldn't they have cut him already?
True.
Yeah.
Did you get that, Caleb?
True, but what I will say is this, okay? If TA beats the case and they don't cut him, then moving on. Anybody who beats a case, you can't say he's a bad culture fit.
Right.
Jalen Carter, he didn't get.
You got to be a little consistent with that.
I'm just saying, if TA gets the exception, okay, fine, fair play.
Yeah.
Moving forward, though, if there's any other players that beat a case, I don't know why I did that when I said literally beat the case. It's factual. Then I'm not taking any pushback on the player. I'm not.
Because got to be consistent when it comes to that at the end of the day.
You know, based on what the Lions typically do, this would be one of those situations where TA is no longer on the team. Trippy Gypsy, pretrial isn't for proving guilt without reasonable doubt. It's to show probable cause for continuing. Maybe the defense is bullying his load too early, actually. Yeah, that's definitely what's happening. But you know what?
We can go back whenever.
Yeah, throw it
there's
up.
definitely
Let's get this thing rolling.
there's definitely
For
a lot more of the defense is going to come prepared with. I mean,
all right, get closer.
All right, here we go. We're back
live.
I mean, we can't
Here we
hear.
go.
They are the plan
All right,
which
we
they
are
put
back.
into
First
place
half in the books.
is now going
Does this
out in
one-
front
this
of
one
them,
has
and
no
they are
sound?
watching it via FaceTime.
Oh, my bad.
Boakai, absolutely those text messages are saying,
All right, we're back, baby.
And the audio
Don't
is
let
way
them
better than
leave.
the other one.
100 times.
All of that
That
is
might be why they
happening.
cut it.
But let us know he's inside. Ari gets closer. We can't hear. Jackson Ridgeway saying Mr. Arnold absolutely knew what was going on.
That reminds me of my confusion. I thought the detective testified that the volume was turned off.
Of the FaceTime call.
Right. So what's the reference to we can't hear in the text if the volume is turned off?
That possibly that on the other side of the line, or generally they just might not be able to hear because he says get closer. She might have walked away. That's the only context I can give you in the sense of she's in the room.
This is falling apart.
With them while this is happening. He's saying to her, get closer. I would say physically get closer to what was happening.
And I'm following you. And all of my listening to the testimony was thinking that was coming through the FaceTime live until it came out that no, there was nothing on the FaceTime live because the volume was turned off.
I think my understanding would be, even if they're in the room, the FaceTime, you're in the room with your phone. Regardless of the volume might be low for someone, the speaker, to speak out of it. So if that person, say Boakai was speaking into the speaker, it would be out.
If they could both speak.
Like you would hear someone talking through it. But to be able to just receive audio, that was not uninterrupted. It seems like that Ari, when she went a little farther, they were saying get closer back so they could hear what's going on. And they weren't speaking out loud so it would come through.
Word salad.
That
Right?
volume
He has no clue what he's saying.
You guys know I'm big on word salad. It's I love using that term.
So,
word
which
salad.
is established that it corroborates. She's in the room watching all this happen. She's giving a play-by-play of what's happening. But also, through Boakai's text messages, so is he, which we know Mr. Arnold is sitting next to him. So that's now how we know Boakai is actually seeing what's going on in that room. That's why he's giving instructions.
Man.
Don't put them in the corner. Don't let them leave. Where's that other guy going?
Terrion's sitting next to him, but if he's not saying anything.
They are basically live streaming and see exactly what's
You know
happening.
what I'm saying? Like,
Which is
you could be like, he's not involved. He was just there. He was in a car with someone else.
Is because of
They're trying to get him for orchestrating it.
getting
Yeah,
that
but they
ball
can't because he's not
and
saying
my
anything.
only
They're
word
literally
is
they're
that
proving
the
their own case
incitement,
wrong.
cause, encourage, or assist doesn't get off the ground without him at all. Yes, understanding that these witnesses, at trial, that is different in regards to that and their credibility. And at the end of the day, and even higher at trial. And I understand that, even though yes, we're going under the one theory of proof of guilt is evident or presumption is great, which technically is even higher than that. But the first burden, or the first way in which we're trying to get it, is substantial probability that the defendant committed offense. It would fly in the face of logic that they decided to do this on their own.
You can't get someone in trouble for being like, it would define logic.
Let's
in the
confront
face
them
of
in the
logic.
hotel.
Well, no, you need a
and
fact.
then while they're round tabling and realizing
Facts.
that's
You're going
not
off
a good idea
logic,
because there's
DA.
cameras. And then once Mr.
Someone
Arnold
said
learns
this DA is
that
in
Ari's apartment is
Yeah,
very
real
not-
shit, bro.
he
Again,
then
you're
makes
thinking
sure
prosecutor.
and directs,
when you start going to
encourages,
something like
assists
this, you would have a
Ari
plan and
to send a text
case.
message to Jasmine and set it all up.
Right,
Not
Captain
only
Clutch.
just
This
for
dude
your
seem like a
art,
public
you did that for
defender,
art.
bro. Who
Jasmine
they give you when you show up for a traffic
said-
ticket?
I mean, this guy.
Terrion told me directly.
You'd be like, bro, what did you do?
You know how people used to say, like, when they play on a court with, like, Michael Jordan or LeBron, they'd already be intimidated. This is, like, lined up with Harvey Steinberg.
No,
He's
for
looking over,
real,
looking
right.
at Harvey, and Harvey.
He got the alert 2 days ago and was like,
oh my god.
Jordan and OJ Mayo right now.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
And
If TA beat this, I got forward down the field.
beating
here.
that happens in the house. And when Ariana is able to leave.
what are the judges like? We're throwing this whole case out. I'm not doing it.
God, this guy is fucking
to
awful.
them,
I
and
mean,
you heard it from
Do parade down Woodward.
Right.
Ariana, Jasmine, and Ridgeway.
I'm home.
That he says,
If he
"You don't
beats
need
it,
to
we
be
should
there,
thank
Ariana.
this guy
You know,
on the screen.
You don't want to get
We should
hurt.
thank
You don't
this
want to be
guy.
there. Jasmine also said, I heard Terrion say, nope, you don't want to be there. Get out of there. Which goes to his knowledge of what is happening in that apartment. Because the issue was, do we believe Mr. Arnold while he's in the car? Was he watching the FaceTime or not? I think that was the issue. It was hard to establish, or trying to establish, that he had knowledge, or do we believe his eyes were actually on FaceTime? That is direct evidence that he knew the nature of what was happening inside that apartment. That you don't need to be up there. You don't have to be involved in this. I don't want you to be scared. And then took them out, and then took Ariana out. So this whole, he didn't know what possibly was going on in the car when on a FaceTime, it flies in the face of that's being truthful, because his own statements himself to Ariana that also Jasmine corroborated and heard as well. Which you heard testimony that they did not speak to each other in regards to their testimony. And when confronted with text messages, or excuse me, confronted is not the word they used, because when the detectives was going over the testimony from these women lined up with the text messages. It was not, oh, you're wrong, you're lying to me, and then we have to confront you with the text messages. Everything they said is corroborated by the text messages. And the criminal, as in when it played out, how did it go? And they even knew the effects or the serious nature of this, because they said they were going to delete them. And not only that, Boakai then does try and delete all their text messages. So yes, understand that Boakai is running the game time decisions in regards to what's happening in the apartment, but the game plan starts with Mr. Arnold putting in motion with Ariana. This is what you need to do to get him to your house, and then also doing that with Jasmine. Coupled with Jackson Ridgeway saying he knew what was happening. Yes, he absolutely was involved. He knew what was happening. And we did get that out in testimony. So in regards to the state's motion, or if I look at my notes briefly.
They have the calls and the texts that
you
prove
gotta have
that.
that
They could
proof.
say that all they want,
true.
but then at that point it's hearsay, right? And you're sitting there going, well, they said this. Well, how do they know they're not just saying this just to get their plea?
And the text message.
They could easily just be like, oh, yeah, I'll plea out of it to get
Right.
half of the
It was
sentence.
reported they do have some sort of text chain or whatever. So.
Yeah,
But I think I
they
feel like
they won't
everything
present
here-
it today. That's for the actual hearing.
They
but-
should present it today if they don't want him out on bail, because right now it feels like Harvey is just dominating right now. Look at him just sit there. Look at Harvey just
Understanding
mogging him.
that you're discussing beyond a reasonable doubt at trial, Your Honor. But there's a substantial probability that the defendant committed the offense and that he was principal to it. And the issue that we have in regards to the defendant's past and present patterns of behavior, I need to address that because that is the second part of my prong for substantial probability. He has no criminal history. Completely understand. Character evidence came out for bond factors. Outstanding citizen. The issue.
Why would you bring it?
He picked one of the worst charges to pick up as his first time because it carries so much weight because of the serious violent nature of it. And the reason why I say point to the present patterns of behavior, because I understand his past, great person, great family, and I absolutely respect that. But the issue is there is 3 individuals that had guns pointed in their faces because of this defendant. And what that shows is that this defendant's ability to pretty much say to six human beings, 6 individuals, this is what we're going to do, that is very serious, that is very dangerous. And the last portion in regards to there are no conditions of release or bail or reason to protect the community from risk or physical harm. This plan that was then executed, Soldier Anderson wasn't involved in this at all. And this group of people did not care at all. They still brought him into it. They still pistol whipped him. They still stuck a gun in his face. So
Wait, isn't he the one who was told he could leave but said he wanted to stay?
that's correct. That's correct. Because at that point, based off the testimony that the detective said, he felt he didn't want to leave his friends in that condition. But you got, and I understand that notion, Judge. But Danny, when confronted by CJ with a gun in his chest, his first reaction was, "You know me, I'm Danny." So this was out of the ordinary of a confrontation or a discussion about stolen items. That is where I think that's the disconnect, because what reasonably should have happened was they did have a discussion. Hey guys, can you come over? We need to discuss this. I got a ping on my phone that's in Miami. What's going on? If it was you guys, can you just give me back my items, please? Or do what he did on his way back from Tallahassee. Mr. Arnold called Largo PD, said these were the items that were stolen. I think I know who the ones did it. So essentially what happens, and that would have been reasonable. But what happens is, based off the criminal nature and intent behind all of it, and I get it, it's a long stretch of events, but it doesn't start until Mr. Arnold pushes the first domino over, which is Ariana texts Jasmine to get Danny to the house. Because if it was not for any other criminal reason, he would have just did it himself. Boakai would have did it to himself, or say to Ariana, "Hey, can you just ask him about the stolen items?" So based off that, Your Honor, and essentially the six other people who were involved in this case have all been found. Substantial probability that it occurred, and that they are being held permanently
Mr. Harvey's point, he'd say, "Hey, pistol whip him, do this, do that, do this." No, it's really just to get him there because we need to get myself.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I won't take as much time, but I listened intently, as I know you were, to this so-called plan. But harking back to the evidence, there is zero evidence that suggests that Mr. Arnold had any idea or was aware that there was going to be a beating, that there was going to be guns involved, or anything. The only thing that I would suggest to you, through its hearsay and questions of credibility the state has shown, is the following. That Mr. Arnold was suspicious that his phone was taken and wanted to confront some people and ask them. That's all you have. There's nothing more. Arnold's participation, based on all the evidence before you, ends there. And that, to me, I have to tell you, is confusing to begin with, and I don't get it. Because hotel room where they're worried about cameras, what difference does that make? These guys knew who they were. This wasn't a situation where, hey, we're going to send in these guys who they've never seen before and they're going to do the dirty work. They all knew each other. So luring, they didn't need to, quote, lure anyone. I just don't understand this, because if this were the plan to beat them, to shoot them, to do whatever, they could have said, "Hey, guys, come on over to the Airbnb. There's no cameras here." So the whole thing really makes no sense. It really doesn't. You lure people to a location so you can hide your identity. You lure people to a location who you know won't willingly come over. In fact, the evidence here is undisputed that they knew each other, that they were driving together, and they would have come over. So I don't know how to resolve that. I really don't. But I do think it's relevant, because the only thing they can attribute to him, and it's the only thing. And again, I'm going to emphasize, I wish I had full discovery. I wish I had the opportunity to cross-examine. But at most, giving some credence to what they've presented, here's what they can show you. That my client was suspicious, and clearly the evidence suggests he had reason to be suspicious, and wanted to confront them. And that's it. What else have they shown you? Wow. Do you have any text messages from him? Zero. Do you have any text messages that suggest Terrion says to hit them, to shoot them, to beat them, to do anything to them? You have zero. Zero. Nothing. So I'm thinking complicity is the fancy word that we use in various courts. You have to have complicity to do the act itself, i.e. the act of beating them, the act of threatening them. You don't have that. There's not a scintilla of evidence that suggests that. If, in fact, Mr. Arnold's in a position where the only evidence and the only thing they've shown is, hey, I think we should confront them, that's a crime? And that rises to the level of more than probable cause. I don't even think there's probable cause to believe that he was part of this, and I'm going to argue that to you. Just because probable cause that he, in fact, this is just for probable cause statement, he said, I want to confront them. What else do you have, Judge? Do you have one scintilla of evidence that says Arnold said to beat them? No. Do you have one scintilla of evidence that said Arnold said to point a gun at them? No. Do you have one scintilla of evidence that said Arnold said to put a gun in their mouths? Nope. And then I hark back to Jackson. Remember Mr. Jackson Ridgway? He's in the car. What's ironic is they're relying on him, but keep in mind, he runs into the apartment where all this is happening. Remember that? When they get to the location, Jackson goes in. And they said, oh, he didn't go into the bedroom. He just came into the apartment. Did my client do that? No. Did my client text them? No. Did my client direct them? No. There is not a scintilla of evidence other than he said, hey, I want to confront these guys, because you got to admit that it's a little strange that his phone winds up in Miami when one of the people who had the code happened to be in Miami. So I think they might have done it.
The time frame from when Mr. Arnold arrives at the scene and the time that the 3 victims were released.
It wasn't brought out in testimony. So I can tell you what I think, but in terms of the testimony, that wasn't brought out by the state. So I think that has to be inference against them, but it was a short time period. Very short. And keep in mind, the evidence is he left before they were released.
Dude, this
in the sense that the evidence that they presented suggests that he had Ariana come and then they leave the scene while the people are still there. So he had nothing to do with it. He's getting out of there. And as you know, the principles of law are mere presence, mere association with other criminals is not enough. So let's even give him that. So now we have, okay, he wanted to confront the only words that were ever used by all their witnesses. And 2, he was present for a short period of time and then left. How does that make him guilty? So I'm going to suggest to you there is no probable cause here for any of these counts. And clearly, you never get to proof evident presumption grade. You're not even close. So, and in terms of proving dangerousness, how do they prove dangerousness? I don't even want to go there, but I will, just because somebody will say, why didn't you talk to the judge about that? How's he dangerous? Do they show that he ever had a gun? No. Do they show that he told them to do anything other than, quote, one word, confront? So because of that, Judge, we're asking that you not find probable cause to begin with, but certainly not to those higher standards, and give my guy a bond. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bender.
That was like
Mr. Riley, did you have anything else?
Yeah.
Easter Conference.
Judge, I just want
semifinals
to highlight
was
some
over,
text
right? That
messages
dude
in
was
regards to that. I understand defense wants to go back.
That was
Didn't know there was a
LeBron.
ton. Didn't know that there was going to be beating happen. Once again, that is not my burden.
Consecutive, all those 28 straight against the Pistons.
What I am trying to establish here is that he is the reason in the planning of why it happened. Pushing that first domino via Miss Ariana to text Jasmine, because he needs only to encourage, assist, or advise. In the text messages in regards to, it's the bigger packet, I apologize for states 2.
2, yes.
Where it is established that Ariana texts Jasmine, are you up? She says what when she finally gets up in the morning? She says, text Danny and ask him what he's doing later. And that's it. That's what Terrion said. Doesn't answer. She said, did you do it or want Celeste to? Jasmine, I'll do it. Ariana, okay, let me know when you do it. All right. Just texted me. Ariana says, hold on.
I forgot to mention that.
Ariana writes, or Jasmine writes, or excuse me, she likes. Okay, hold on. So Jasmine's waiting. It's pending. Ariana writes, so basically just try to get him to come over tonight. Don't be suspicious, though. This conversation is happening from Mr. Arnold to Ariana, and Ariana is relaying this to Miss Randazzo. For what? Who are you with? So Jasmine says, Ariana goes, I'm with Terrion. Ariana, just do it. It's for them. She says, okay, let me know when it's done. Text messages gets sent. He is orchestrating, or whatever I'll just use what the law says. He is encouraging and assisting, getting Ariana to put this ruse on, to talk to Jasmine, to say, get Danny to the apartment. And this word confront, this thing of what would be reasonable, talk to them, they had no issues with them. It flies in the face of logic when you're saying, don't be suspicious though. We can't do this because there's no cameras available. That doesn't make sense.
He has to go over his notes.
And in those text messages, Your Honor, that I hope you review, it states and says why they're doing what they're doing, because they stole their stuff. They're going to pay us. That is all coming from Mr. Arnold. So we ask that you grant the state's motion, and the 6 people who have already been found to have no bond, we ask that Mr. Arnold joins us, because without his actions to encourage, assist, or advise, these 6 people would not be in Hillsborough County Jail right now. Thank you.
All right. I hear you, Mr. Riley, and I understand the principal theory in Florida. What distinguishes Mr. Arnold from those other 6 is he has no hands-on. He never goes into the apartment.
Yep.
There's nothing on his phone, on his social media, on his texts. What you have, the state has, to connect Mr. Arnold through the principal theory currently is the testimony of the 2 co-defendants that were facing life in prison, who this court didn't have the ability to personally judge their credibility. I have no doubt that that is what they said, but that's going to be a very important thing for the state to get to the 4th quarter in this process. So at this stage, to grant the state's motion, the burden is higher than probable cause. It's either under 903.046, substantial probability, and no conditions regarding safety, or under 907.041, proof of guilt evident or presumption great. And as I said, we're early. We're in the 1st quarter. But the state just isn't there at this point. So I can't grant the state's motion. I do find probable cause. Based on all of the stuff that you've argued so eloquently and put together, it's complex, it's complicated, and you and the detective have done a very good job of helping me understand. I have 10 pages of notes that I wrote throughout the testimony, and I do believe I have an understanding of it. I understand your argument regarding motive, I understand everything, and I find there's probable cause. But I'm gonna set bond, and I recognize that that's different than the other 6. I even heard one of the pretrial detentions on 2 or 3 of the other 6. But as I said, the distinction in those cases was that they were there. They went into the apartment, they had hands on, except for Jasmine, I believe, who wasn't there, who wasn't in. But there was other testimony related to her. So at this stage, I find probable cause, but I don't find the higher level to grant the state's motion for pretrial detention. So I'm going to deny the motion, but it's a serious case. It's serious crimes that I am finding probable cause of, and I'm going to set bond. And that bond is going to be consistent with the serious nature of the charges. Let me ask the state this: are there conditions of the bond, now that the cat's out of the bag and you know that I'm setting bond for Mr. Arnold? Are there specific conditions of bond that you would like to request at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. No contact with co-defendants or witnesses in this case.
Okay. I'm writing it down. So no contact with witnesses or co-defendants.
A electronic monitor.
Electronic GPS monitor.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Ankle monitor.
Play with an ankle.
Next.
That is at this, or may I have a brief moment?
Yes.
He's gonna try and get on.
You can play with ankle tether, right?
I mean, this guy should have had hey, if they're going to deny it, this is what we have. He's like, he has no clue what he's doing.
That'd be all from the state.
Surrender his passport.
Well, if I apologize, what I was looking for is to make sure there was no other witnesses that he was not.
Yeah, you're gonna post it. You got the money.
Surrender his passport, and any other things that the judge, Your Honor, would find reasonable. Sorry that I went through.
That's all right. That's all right, Mr. Steinberg.
Judge, so we would ask for 24 hours to surrender the passport. The family didn't bring it. It's in Detroit, so we'll have to get it here. We strenuously object to the ankle bracelet, and here's why. One, it'll basically take his employment away, and that's critical. He can't continue in the league when he has an ankle bracelet. That's not going to happen. And the purpose, I would suggest, of an ankle bracelet is to track and make sure you know where somebody is. First off, obviously, he's not in a position to hide. Everybody knows who he is. But more importantly, there were, again, 4.5 to 5 months where he knew he was under investigation, knew he was a target, and if he wanted to leave, he had ample opportunity to leave, to flee, to hide out. When I got the call, I called Mr. Diaz.
Hold on, bro. No.
He gave me the number of the marshal, and I said, we'll have him at the jail. Give us the time. They said 10:30 in the evening. We got him there. Literally, I want to say it was 10 o'clock. Sorry. I want to say it was within hours of the phone call. If I remember right, I was in California, and I got the phone call, and within 5 hours, he was there. And the reason it took so long is I had to get this guy out of bed to make sure he could meet him there at 10 p.m. So he's not, or drive from Tallahassee. So he's not a flight risk. This is not a guy who I don't think the state has any concern is not going to appear. And because the prejudice is it puts him out of the league, we're asking that the court not make that a requirement.
All right.
He's an NFL fan. Watch.
There are, according to his booking sheet, a total of 8 charges, 4
That's correct.
each of kidnapping, harm, or terrorize, and 4 of robbery, firearm, or deadly weapon. On the 4, each of the 4 kidnapping, harm, or terrorize, I'm going to set his bond at $150,000 per count. On the 4 counts of robbery, firearm, I'm going to set his bond at $100,000 per count. That's a total bond of $1 million. As far as the conditions of his bond, I'm going to order that he have no contact with his co-defendants or with any witnesses.
100,000, he out.
That he surrender his passport. I'll allow him 24 hours to surrender the passport. We need to make that happen.
We might need more than 24 hours. The passport's in Michigan. If you can let us surrender the passport within 2 or 3 days.
48 hours.
48 hours, yes, sir.
And if he doesn't surrender it, then that's a violation of the conditions of his bond.
Right. We don't want
He's not going to want to be in. I'm going to address that with him in just a moment
release.
when I finish the conditions.
He'll go back in if we don't have it 48 hours.
And Your Honor, did you mention the conspiracy charges as well? I apologize.
I don't have a conspiracy charge on here.
Is it me or does the judge kind of look like the dude from Toy Story who steals?
I have 8.
Oh, a little bit.
Does he not?
A little bit.
I think the most recent pronounced
That's Alice from Alice.
only has 8 charges.
There should be 8 total, Your Honor.
There's 2 conspiracy charges, I believe.
They're part of the 8.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not on the sheet.
They're not on my sheet. They're not on my sheet. I think $1 million.
Well, I want to be very careful because if they come through, that's going to create confusion. If I set bond on these 8 charges and then there's some 2 other charges pending out there, that's going to present a problem. Mr. Riley?
I'll have to touch base with Mr. Diaz in regards to the conspiracy. My understanding is that
The detective is shaking his head. You want to talk to him or detective? Do you?
I can clear it.
Can you clarify, please?
I can't. Yes, to Mr. Riley or to you?
I'll speak to the detective briefly.
All right, that's fine. Works either way.
You actually got a cool judge, bro.
Yeah, the judge has some swag. He has some
He
swag.
lucked out,
chill.
bro. He lucked out. He got a cool judge, bro. I did not got a cool judge.
Big Al, is that the saying from Toy Story?
Right.
Big Al, big NFL fan.
Al's Toy Barn. Shout out.
Yeah, Al's Toy Barn.
Look at my boy sitting like AG in the fourth quarter.
Job finished.
Yeah.
Just sitting there kicking it. He knows he just ate today, man. Jimmy Butler meme. Just leaned over the court.
Your Honor, in regards to
play 40
the charges,
40 minutes.
it is actually 3-3 in regards to kidnapping.
The clerk has advised that the CRA does delineate that one of each is a conspiracy on the CRA. I don't know how or why and whether that's on the booking sheet or the clerk's charges. None of them have anything related to conspiracies. So I'm not sure the best way to handle it, except that there are 8 counts. There are 4 related to kidnapping. It appears one of those might be or is conspiracy. There are 4 related to robbery, and one of those might be or is in fact conspiracy. I'm not changing the amount of the bond, but there's 8 separate charges.
Just wanted to make sure it was clear.
One of each apparently is conspiracy. Yes.
Mr. Jansen.
Mr. Jansen.
Your Honor, can you just do the bond on the counts? So there's no count number, count
Sure.
1, count 2,
I think
so we don't
that's
have a
fine.
delay.
Count 1 is going to be $150,000. Count 2 is going to be $150,000. Count 3 is $150,000. Count 4 is $150,000. Count 5 is $100,000. Count 6 is $100,000. Count 7 is $100,000. Count 8 is $100,000, again, for a total of $1 million in bond. The last condition, well, the state didn't ask for it, but I do want him confined to his residence except for he can leave for work. I don't want to interfere with his ability to earn a living. So he can leave for work, he can leave for legal appointments, he can leave to come to court. The condition that I am struggling with is the GPS monitor. I don't know it to be true, but the defense said that he may not be able to or would not be able to work with a GPS ankle monitor.
As an officer of the court, I will tell you, he would not be allowed on the field because of danger to the other players in terms of tackling, in terms of him when he hits somebody, cutting people. You're not allowed under NFL rules to have any. They get fined for their socks not being in the right position. So the ankle bracelet would prohibit him from doing his job.
I suppose that there's some way that I could fashion an exception to when he's playing, but I suspect that that would extend to when he's practicing.
Right.
But given all the other things that I acknowledge you've mentioned, that we've got 5 months with no attempts to flee, we've got him turning himself in almost immediately when you were notified of the charges.
Come on, dude.
I'm gonna
That's gotta be
reluctantly
There you go.
reject the state's request for a GPS ankle monitor.
DA's gonna be on the
In
field.
addition to the reasons I've stated, is because
He's gonna let him
I
let him
suspect
play.
that
think they
Mr.
would.
Arnold has a paparazzi monitor. If he's late for practice,
Yeah.
ESPN will let us know.
Oh, yeah.
If he disappears, the world will know before he knows. If he shows up on a beach in Tahiti, he'll be on social media. If he violates the conditions of his bond, he will be found because they will find you and you will come back because the law will bring you back, and then you will sit with no bond until your trial in this case. Do you understand that, Mr. Arnold?
Yes, sir.
All right. So those are the conditions that I'm going to impose. I've set the bond. Is there anything else that we need to do? I don't know, maybe because that we know where it's going or any
Sports will
particular
let them
dates
know.
at this time.
Right, right.
Looks like you want to say something or add
Yeah.
something.
Just, he needs to obviously travel to, as you pointed out, Tallahassee
36,
is where
man.
I think he's going to be living. I live in Denver. I want him to be able to come to my office, and then Detroit, and then they may travel in the sense that
Detroit may
notify the state
I will do that.
of each of those, but
No
but
problem.
I'm not going to. My intent here in setting his bond is not to prevent him from leaving Hillsborough County. I understand he resides in Tallahassee, but I have said that he can only leave his residence for those reasons that I've delineated, including whatever his involvement with the NFL for practice and/or games.
Training, you're on.
As long as it's required by the team. I don't want to create any extra opportunities for him to be outside of his house. It's not in his best interest. As I said, he's being closely followed, looked after. We'll see. I'm giving him a tremendous benefit, I believe, in not putting the ankle monitor that would interfere with his ability to earn a living, which I want him to continue to be able to do. He's in a unique situation. We don't have a lot of defendants with that type of a job. So I hope that what I've fashioned today will accomplish all of those things in the light of the totality of all the circumstances and ultimately the interest of justice.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Anything from the state?
Nothing else from the state. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Did we have any future court dates? All right. No future court dates this time. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we'll come back.
Got a TA smile. He's going home.
Wow. He is
forward down the
$1 million bond.
TA's going home.
Yeah.
Back to Detroit, baby. TA's coming back.
Let's go.
Got another corner on the roster.
I mean,
we
just watched.
Wow.
We just watched one of the greatest performances from a defense attorney I've ever seen.
No, that was
Harvey
great.
Steinberg.
Wow.
That dude's for real, bro.
Generational game.
Yeah, he just
really
put
is.
on an absolute clinic in the courtroom.
He was cooking.
That was insane.
Wow.
That was insane. So TA, so essentially $1 million bond. Obviously, he's not going to have to pay the full thing. There's the percentage saying he's going to have to pay a certain amount to be able to get out. Going home today, can go to Detroit, and obviously I don't know where his place of residence. I'm guessing it's Florida somewhere.
Tallahassee.
So Tallahassee to Detroit, those are the only two places he's going to be able to go.
Yeah.
No ankle
tether.
monitor, no tether, which is huge because obviously he wouldn't have been able to practice. And I mean, training camps in a month. We know these trials could take a year. You know,
over a year.
It might not even start until next year.
It could be 2 years.
Yeah, so he might not even start the trial until next year, whenever it is. So as of now, probably able to play football. Now I think the biggest question comes down to, we had the conversation before, will the Detroit Lions continue to say, hey, you know, he's able to be on the field, you know, with all that off-field stuff going on. You would think that, you know, he's not guilty right now. They just proved here there's a reason they're letting him go on a bond is because they look at it as, hey, you're not fully innocent or you're not fully guilty. But
if he's out, that's huge.
Yeah.
Because you can, in theory, keep him until his rookie contract is up. And
then go from there.
And then just go from there.
Yeah.
By the way,
that's wow.
Xavier Rose, I wonder if the Lions players watch this live too.
Probably. I would guess a lot. I would guess a lot of people were watching this live. I bet you they might have had this on in Allen Park. They probably had it in like the big film room that they have with all those seats.
Yeah.
They probably had it up on the screen.
Bro, they put it on Fox too. Of course it was on. Yeah, come on.
So Ed O'Neill, if he's playing, probably can't go to the Germany game. That's probably true. Probably cannot travel internationally.
See, I mean,
healthy scratch.
We're just it's very early, so you know, I'm obviously happy for TA.
He could still get cut.
And by the way, too,
that's the thing I'm curious.
It is possible.
Yeah, Megan did say, can he go to the gym? Can he get grocery store? Like he's going to be able to do everything. He just can't leave specific cities.
Yeah,
he can. I think Tallahassee and I'm guessing Detroit are the two that he's going to be able to go to. And obviously,
but I think they said he can't leave unless it's for certain things.
Yes,
I don't think he's
on
house arrest.
NFL activity.
They didn't say house arrest.
He is on house arrest in theory, but he just won't be wearing a tether. But because he can't travel he can't travel anywhere else besides his NFL activities. That's it. So
the grocery stuff, someone's gonna have to drop those off.
For someone in the NFL, that's not a big deal. Like,
and maybe, I'd
imagine,
imagine
maybe it's good. Go live in the facility.
I mean,
man.
These guys' houses are 4 or 5 houses combined. I mean, it's like house arrest. It's like, bro, you're in a warehouse. You're in a mansion. He's good. He's chilling.
And I'm not a lawyer of any sort, but maybe, before the season starts, maybe they reconvene in court to maybe kind of hammer out the conditions of what exactly he'll be able to do throughout the regular season of football. But it's definitely possible. I mean, like I said, the fact that he got out, that's the biggest part of this, because he can deal with the legal stuff and still do his football thing. It's just a matter of if the Lions want to put up with that at this point. So the ball is in their court, essentially.
Yeah. We're going to find out. I think within the next couple of days, you would find out where the Lions are at with it.
Yeah.
There's probably going to be some sort of statement.
It's not a crime to let them play.
Yeah, no, it's not. And it's until he goes to trial and he's proven, he's guilty, then as of right now he's innocent, so it's hard for you
and he has his freedom.
Yeah, and it's hard for you to be like, well, you're cut from the team, but then he'll be like, why? Because then you get into a kind of a unlawful, what is it? When you get fired for
unlawful resignation or something.
Whatever it is, you get into that thing.
Termination. Unlawful termination.
So you get into a little bit of a situation on that end.
Which the PA can step in.
I don't think the Lions want Harvey Steinberg on the opposite side of that situation.
Let's go to break because we're a couple reads behind. We'll double up here. We'll do.
I think we are being joined by John Macaroon,
shout out,
Detroit Lions on Sports Illustrated. I think he is going to be joining here.
So we'll have the doc on to kind of recap what happened there. You know what we'll do right now? We'll do Planet Fitness and Massage Chair House.
Yep, sounds good.
That's what we'll do. So I'll tell you about our friends over at Planet Fitness because it seems to be working out so far for TA, but you could go literally work out at Planet Fitness. 50 Metro Detroit locations, over 2,700 clubs nationwide, $24.99. You get access to the Black Card. Comes with a bunch of bonuses as well. Bring a free guest. That's part of it. So Planet Fitness, get your fitness on.
And then let me tell you about Massage Chair House. If you're looking to take your relaxation to the next level, visit Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest, featuring top brands like Infinity and Osaki. They are your destination for premium comfort and cutting-edge wellness technology. Experience the difference with Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc and creator of the #1 YouTube channel for massage chair reviews at the Wellness Doc. Book your visit today at massagechairhouse.com or simply scan the QR code on your screen. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Dan Campbell is in redemption mode.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
And Woodward Sports is here to cheer on the Detroit Lions every snap. Don't miss a moment of Detroit Lions coverage. Follow Woodward Sports on all social media platforms now.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Shout out to Mad Packs, the maddest of packs. And if you just beat a case like Terrion and Arnold, maybe you want a way to celebrate, and you can do that with these gummies, man. The Boom Shakalaka 200 milligram hash rosin gummies and the High-Low 200 milligram live resin gummies, along with the Mad Packs extracts. That's that concentrate for my real smokers out there. They also have the Blizzard packs, the Moon Rock, pre-rolls, flour, anything you can imagine. Mad Packs has got you covered. Shout out to the people over there. So you can get yours today at getmadpacks.com. Mad flavor, mad high, Mad Packs.
And let me tell you guys about Founders All Day IPA. It marks the 15th year anniversary that Founders and the legendary All Day IPA has been around. It's citrusy, crisp, refreshing with a balanced taste at 4.7 ABV. It's built to go the distance for the whole game. You can get right now, you can get $5 shorts at any Art and Jake's locations in Michigan on Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Make sure you go check that out. Go to Art and Jake's, get those deals. And as always, drink responsibly.
We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports. Thanks for rocking with us. We just kind of went through the TA stuff, did a watch party, and if you left, you're missing the best part. And if you stuck around, you're going to miss the best part, which we're going to be joined by our good friend John Macaroon at Detroit Lions and SI. Is he there?
He's not. I just sent it to him.
All right. Well, Brian in the chat, appreciate the super chat, $5. He says, there will be a crowd of reporters outside of Allen Park daily. Does Brad and Dan want that type of distraction for the team in a bounce-back mode? You're right. I don't. That's where I'm curious. There's the first battle, which is getting out on bond. He won that.
Right.
The second battle is what happens with his future with the Detroit Lions.
Lions have to decide whether it's worth it or not to them.
That's because they're operating under the assumption he's going to continue to work. Obviously, so they're like he still has to go to his job, but that's how they're operating. You don't actually know. That doesn't mean the Lions are going to keep him. No,
right.
That has not been decided.
And also for the people at home, this does not mean TA is off completely. Like they still have to go to trial. He could still be guilty of the crime.
Yep.
But if today's trial was indicative of how the actual trial gonna go, he might get off.
The DA and all of them, they're like at this point after what happened today, they're like, we got to really dig deeper and figure this thing out.
Yeah,
because
their
case right now and the thing that they've built up. We thought, and I think it's fair for people to think like, hey, if they did arrest TA and they were like, hey, let's not, we don't want to put him out on a bond, you would think, I think it's anyone's natural reaction to be like, hey, the DA has a really good case built up. You thought that because of where it was at. They don't, and they didn't, and it was proven there. And Harvey Steinberg just shut that thing down like that.
Right.
And the thing people don't realize, it's like, well, now we're going to give him another year or whatever it is for the DA's office to build the case up. Guess who also gets that same time to build up the case?
Yeah.
Harvey Steinberg, the best attorney in the country.
But on the contrary, he will have a different judge for that trial.
For
and
sure.
He'll also probably be in front of a jury.
Yeah.
So
and that's the thing, KJ. I'm glad you said that.
The jury is going to be
glad you said that. Different judge, actual jury, that's different. Obviously the facts have to remain the same, but you're right. That's the public opinion.
Yeah.
That you have to take into account for sure. But if you are onto something with that, KG, if we're kind of foreshadowing a little bit with what the trial is going to look like, dude, the DA got to come up with. They got to have more, not just hearsay, but facts.
Yeah, bro. How do you not have dead facts? We were told they had a text chain, and somebody did say in the chat that they did reveal that during the court proceeding. So I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't enough in the text messages. But if you have hard physical evidence, you got to have a better case than that. But
let's bring on the DOC, John McEnroe, Detroit Lions at SI. We'll talk to him before we close out the show here because we want to hear from the doc. John McEnroe, how we doing, my friend? We appreciate you. I know it's last minute. We're getting towards it, but we want to keep you on, and we'll go overtime because we want to get your thoughts on everything that's transpired. So bond for TA, $1 million bond. Obviously, you don't have to pay the whole thing, but the defense, Harvey Steinberg, Doc, we were texting. There's a reason this guy charges probably a couple $1,000 an hour. It clear, and he's representing NFL players, Doc.
There's a reason why you call high-priced attorneys when you're in trouble. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And look, he looks the part. He is the part. And what we just learned over the last 2.5 hours gives you a lot of insight regarding how this is going to play out. Remember, this is just a pre-trial hearing to determine whether or not Terrion Arnold would stay incarcerated throughout the whole time. And there just wasn't enough to keep him based on his history, based on the evidence that was presented. You got a lot over those 3 hours. You got a chance to see how the prosecution is going to attack this case. You got a sense of what the defense is going to do. And you really get a sense too, guys. Look, let's be honest with ourselves, all right? The attorney did say it. This is going to be a case of an attorney trying to get his client off of a matter that he got himself into. So it's a legal matter. And I think that at the very least, you can know that your cornerback hired an attorney that will put on the best case possible to convince 12 people that his life should not be, that he shouldn't spend life in prison for this. But there is evidence. The prosecution is going to lay out that these individuals said this happened, and they're going to tie it with text messages. Now, is that enough legally to put someone away? I don't know, but it's going to be a fascinating trial. Now, everyone now realizes, too, guys, it's going to be a circus at training camp when Terrion Arnold shows up because my heart started pumping a little bit. I was wondering about that tether situation. I thought that's what the prosecution was going to get when they started asking for all those things. But it just felt like, you know what? Bottom line, the judge felt fair. He felt like he was in the know, understanding what to ask, what not to ask. And at this very point in time, you have a presumed innocent Terrion Arnold who's in a legal battle. But what just happened over the last 2.5 hours is an interesting glimpse at the U.S. legal system. And it does go to show you, if you have funds, if you have means, there are ways to put on a credible defense for yourself, for sure. But look, guys, listen, let's be real, okay? Terrion Arnold is not a choir boy, okay? Let's just be real about that. It's very nice that he's got family members that are going to say, he's great, he's a nice person, but don't let your fandom cloud what's going on here. Let's just be real about Terrion Arnold, the person. And legally speaking, I think he's got the opportunity to put on a defense that will give him the best opportunity to show that this matter cannot be proved by the prosecution.
What do you think, Doc? Just kind of your initial thought. Obviously, Brad and Dan, they've been, at the forefront of being like, hey, this is a no BS organization anymore. We're not dealing with anything. What do you think that they're kind of moving forward? What are they going to do with this TA situation? Because obviously it's not just going to go away. There's going to be a trial. Whoever, we don't know when. It could be years out. Who knows? What do they do? Are they going to continue to say TA's on the team? Are they going to, obviously cut ties? Where do you think that they're going to go with this? Because I think that's the biggest question for a lot of fans right now. What does the future hold for Terrion Arnold with the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, there's something called the commissioner's exempt list. Let's monitor that, meaning that it's not all free and clear that Terrion Arnold's going to just return to the football field. I mean, there was a lot of information to decipher from the prosecutor, who online, it's not funny, but a lot of people online are going, oh man, Matt Patricia's trying to prosecute Terrion Arnold. But look, the prosecutor laid out information. Now, the officer that was testifying, a little bit disorganized at times. You could see where he left openings where an attorney can come in and check him a little bit. But look, like I said, I just find it at this point in time difficult to believe that he'll actually step foot on the field given the nature of the allegations. But this is wild to think about that Terrion Arnold has put the team in this position. I do think that the league is going to step in and say, okay, you know what, for a time being, he'll be on an exempt list until more is learned about the matter. But his freedom now, he has now been granted freedom when he posts bond. I did think the judge was fair, saying, look, we probably are not going to have a hard time finding Terrion Arnold in this world, but I just have a hard time thinking that somebody that's about to face 8 counts of 8 felony counts is just going to be free and clear to walk to an NFL field. So we'll see. Now, I think it's in the hands of the commissioner at this point in time. By all accounts, right now, Terrion Arnold is innocent until found guilty, and he's going to have his day in court respectfully. And you realize that it is extra noise, extra distraction. My personal opinion is I feel like the Lions have kind of wanted to move away from that, but it's a first-round pick. You realize, we've all said you got to have some dogs on a team. You got to have some guys that may be a little bit rough and rugged. Look, Terrion Arnold is not the guy look, let's be fair, guys. I mean, there's only 2 parts that really woke me up. Obviously, I know character witnesses are obviously needed, but look at the matter at hand. I felt like his aunt obviously is not going to go up there and say, yeah, he's the worst person ever. I think he should be incarcerated. And then 2, remember, the attorney said, okay, this happened. Okay, I'll even give you, he hangs out with criminals. He said that right to the prosecution. But I'll say this, it makes it difficult because if Terrion Arnold was an all-pro, I think universally the fans would just say, put him on the field, put him out there. But because of his stature in the game right now as a developing player that we still have question marks about, I don't know. I think the fans are going to be split about this. It's going to be hotly debated. It's going to be looked at as to, do you want Terrion Arnold out there to be one big distraction? Because everyone's going to be looking to talk to him. I mean, the Lions probably will put out another statement. There's a lot more to this. This was just a lot over the course of 2.5 hours to determine his custody. Imagine when the 2 ladies testify. Imagine when the others start to get involved, more evidence comes in. So it's not over. It's just, in my opinion, an early legal victory for Terrion Arnold in what is going to be a long, drawn-out situation for the former first-round pick.
Doc, I want to ask you, because KG actually brought it up. It was a great point. Like, you're looking at, this is kind of foreshadowing. It's hard, we'll see, because you have a new judge with this, when it actually goes to trial. You got a new judge, you got a jury, and to be honest with you, you don't know what's going to happen then. We know that it was a win today, but were you shocked? And I think me and Booner and everyone in the room was kind of shocked that the DA and the prosecution had all this time to build a case, and they just looked disheveled. Like, they had all this time, and Harvey just said, Harvey just put down his cigar and said, I got you, stepped up and just fried the case. I mean, well, obviously the pretrial stuff, but were you surprised by that? They had so much time to gather and find out evidence, to speak to people that were actually involved in the case, and they still couldn't come up with more information. Were you shocked by that?
No, I'm never really surprised. Remember in the OJ trial, you had one of the officers that was saying some things he shouldn't have been saying. You had officers that were allegedly contaminating evidence. So you see everything in regards to the history of the legal system. It's a mess. That's one area that is disorganized, crazy. It's just the U.S. legal system is, if you really dive into it, you could parse it apart and realize, okay, a lot of it has to do with money. A lot of it has to do with opportunity. And it's just crazy. But yeah, no, look, there are certain levels of prosecutors, certain level of involvement you have to have. But look, again, this is what the judge said fairly was. This is just the first quarter. This was just kind of laying out what you got. But again, you realize, that you're starting to see maybe a lack of hard evidence. In terms of, remember, there's real life and then there's legal evidence. That's a whole different ballgame in order to convict somebody. So, meaning that's why Terrion Arnold hired this high-priced attorneys to poke holes legally at, hey, I could have been sitting next to the guy. Yeah, I could have been talking to these two people. Yeah, I could have been friends with these people. Yeah, they stole my money. Yeah, I kind of wanted to see what's going on. But legally, you got to have an overwhelming amount of hard evidence to prove that Terrion Arnold orchestrated this event. So it's going to be drawn out, but they're doing their best. Early on, they're obviously going to use the statements of these two witnesses, and they're going to use the text messages to say, okay, based on what they're saying, based on the text messages, this is kind of a timeline of how we are going to try to put information in front of the jury. Yeah, it's again, that's the fascinating part about jury trials. And I would look at it like this. If this was put in front of a judge, I feel like you would think maybe more he'd be found guilty. But in front of 12 jurors, I think a good attorney can poke a lot of holes in what the prosecution has been saying. So it's going to be fascinating to look regarding, like I said before, and I told you guys, when those two ladies testify, it's going to be fireworks because they're going to lay out from their perspective how this shook out. And I think that will I think public opinion is going to sway all over the place. But look, bottom line, I think that you can start to formulate judgments on your own. Everybody can, based on what you're hearing. But legally, it's going to be tougher than most people think to prove that Terrion Arnold did this. But yeah, look, prosecutors get disorganized and all the time because, again, there's a lot of look. I think he was saying 5,000 pages of evidence. There's only so much time, and you're just at this point just trying to make a case that, hey, we have this. We have enough of this information to try and put this in front of the judge. But I think the judge handled it perfectly and said, yeah, it's not really enough to kind of keep them for the next 6 months. So, but it doesn't mean, remember, guys, there are, in legal cases, there's ups and downs, twists and turns, new things brought in, new different angles brought up in the matter of a case. But remember this, there was enough for the case to be started. So it's not nothing. But again, to prove someone without a shadow of a doubt, and Mr. Harvey's job, Mr. Steinberg's job, is to poke holes and to create reasonable doubt. And there's probably going to be some there.
And Doc, I know we've talked about this a bit previously, but I wanted you to kind of just detail what the Lions do stand to gain from this if they chose to not play ball with this Terrion Arnold situation, because that is still a factor. And with training camp approaching, you would think that, we would maybe hear something about that soon. So my two questions to you is, what do the Lions gain if they don't decide to go along with the TA thing? And what would be like a roundabout time? I know you don't know, but what would be like a roundabout timeline as to when we would hear that information from the team?
Are you asking if the Lions decide to just not suspend him, not keep him away from the team, if they just let him show up and practice and do everything he's supposed to be doing?
No, I mean if the Lions decide to cut him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if the Lions make the decision to cut him, I mean, look, it's I think there's an opportunity if the league comes in and, first and foremost, the league can come in. Roger Goodell can say, okay, let's look at this matter. We can give the Lions a pay. You can pay Terrion Arnold. He can be part of the team. He can show up to practice, but he can't play. So there's a reprieve there that gives you a little bit more time to make the decision. If they decide to cut him, I just think that you pay a little bit more in salary cap. You realize that you send the message that there's still no tolerance. Who you hang out with is important. That we don't want players that are going to potentially be involved in these type of matters, that the Lions are above that there's a locker room culture, that it sends the message that we don't play around. Look, they cut Cam Sutton in 24 hours after his whole ordeal. So, but it's different when it's a drafted player, somebody you've invested in. So I again, part of me thinks that those discussions are going back and forth, and it takes time. First and foremost, I would think that Terrion, if he's allowed to, if they said he want him to return to his residence. I don't know, obviously if they're going to grant him a Michigan residence and say, okay, come back here and it's a work thing, they got to talk to him again and say, okay, this is the matter. This is what we're hearing against you. They got to keep talking to him and have these discussions. I just don't think it's a easy thing to decide because it has a lot of ramifications for the football team. But by and large, I think as you guys are talking and as we're talking, it has the feel of if the commissioner doesn't get involved, I could see Brad Holmes allowing this to go on. They could insulate him. He doesn't have to ever talk to the media. He could talk once and just say the same thing. I'm just going to remain silent and kind of give the same message as always. And I just think that a first-round pick does get a little bit more of a leeway than a free agent. So it's a fascinating look because, everybody's going to have their different opinions, and it's just going to be crazy to think about that Terrion Arnold, who's going to face a trial probably in 2026, is going to potentially have a chance to play. But again, I think a lot of the beat reporters are really thinking that based on everything that's going on, evidence, things like that, the commissioner could step in and just put him on an exempt list, and that could be the next thing that keeps him off the field. I just think that's kind of how it's going to go, given some history. But I don't know, does it take him out the whole year? Because the commissioner can put him on the list and take him off at any given time. So maybe the first month, maybe there's a little bit of a mediation there, but it's a wild story to think about because of the fact that, when you look at as a fan base, you're like, okay, Terrion Arnold is a draft pick. They want to invest him. You want to see him do well as a player on your team. But at the same token, you're starting to realize, okay, he wasn't just a regular guy that was going home to Florida and study film. So my point is, that I put out a video on X, and I said, listen, if Terrion really wants to be a gold jacket guy, you don't need friends like that. You need to hit the film, and you need to do a lot better to get you anywhere near close, because he's on that borderline where you can debate it and say, if you cut him, some members of the fan base are like, you know what, just cut him. You might get better as a secondary. That's the level of play that he's at right now, where he's not a bona fide stud where everyone's like, well, just keep him, other than the hardcore fans that are sycophants,
Hey, Doc, just real quick, I just want to make sure they said no ankle monitor, that ESPN and different sports people will obviously report if he's not. That is you. You are the ankle monitor. Doc, the ankle monitor. You better make sure that you're make sure he's not leaving his house. Just straight to Allen Park, back and forth. That's it. That's you, Doc, okay? Just want that out there. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me again. It's a wild thing to think about, but man, what a 2.5 hours we just watched as a Lions fan base. That was crazy, guys. That was crazy.
And you'll be covering it, Doc. Detroit Lions on SI, Lone Wolves podcast, Detroit Lions on SI on YouTube. He does it all. John Macron, we'll see you Wednesday, my friend. We appreciate you, man.
Look forward to it.
There you go. John Macron, he's always there when we need him. He's like our Harvey Steinberg.
He is.
Now we got to hear about our friends from
Gold Crown.
Gold Crown. Shout out
Bang.
to Gold Crown. Oh, man. And like I said, if you just beat a case, man, you're going to want to relax a little bit until the next trial. And guess what? Gold Crown has got you covered, man. The Royal Jesters, 1.5 grams each, and they are quad infused, Keef coated, live resin infused, THCA diamonds, and terpenes, all packed into one joint. Michigan made, top tier, no shortcuts. Next time you hit the dispo, don't think, just ask for the Royal Jesters, because if you're going to smoke, y'all should know by now. Smoke like royalty.
And on Thursday, July 2nd, our guy Darren McCarty is bringing grit back to Detroit. Woodward Sports is taking over the grand opening of Grind Time Pro Wrestling Academy at the historic Brewster Wheeler Recreation Center in Detroit. The Woodward Heavyweights will be broadcasting live on site from 5 p.m. to 7. The open house runs from 5:30 to 7:30, giving you the perfect chance to tour the brand new school, sign up for classes, or lock in your gym membership. Then stick around right after for a free graduation wrestling show to see Grind Time's newest students put it all on the line. Don't miss out. Check out Grind Time Wrestling Academy on Thursday, July 2nd.
All right, let me tell you guys about Mortgage Pros. If you guys need a career upgrade, check out Mortgage Pros, #1 mortgage broker to work for in the state of Michigan, with 4.9 stars on Google and over 4,000 reviews. The reputation, it speaks for itself. So if you're looking for a new job, give Mortgage Pros a call over at 248-416-1361. Mortgage Pros, let the pros handle it. And then also, I'm going to tell you about Black Rock Bar and Grill. They usually have the ultimate dinner sizzle, but now they're bringing the same heat to your mornings. The brand new Black Rock breakfast, or brunch, that is. They're serving fresh menu stacked with mouth-watering twists on your breakfast favorites. Check out the Heartland location from 7 to 11 a.m. daily, or Novi Friday to Sunday 9 to noon. Make sure you check them out. Ditch the boring breakfast. Come to Black Rock Brunch, blackrockrestaurants.com.
We appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be live tomorrow, 11 to 1 p.m. Today we did our watch along. Tomorrow we'll be back to business. Well, he's not back.
TA's back.
He's not back.
Come on now,
He
TA.
just got Bond, but he has a long road ahead of him. And we'll see what happens. But until tomorrow, we will talk to you guys.
Hey, shout out to
11
people. Love you
to
guys.
1 p.m. Peace.
Peace.
The next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.